What is your beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know
the pool house is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
I'm sorry, but don't you guys find it kind of creepy that a 40-year-old man
To me, it's funny. He's a YouTuber. He wears a Dr. Doom mask to interview Tommy
in all of their videos because they're afraid to show their pale white face? I don't know. That seems a little suspicious to me.
Yeah. Let me get Max in here. Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no. Oh, no. I should never have allowed it to happen. I'm already regretting it. No,
especially some dude just wearing a mask all the time screaming at the camera.
Mad Max is here. Never thought I'd see you in my chat. Great costume drawing. Thanks.
Rich, long time. Please take off your shirt and show us some saggy melon.
Yeah!
And please, with some Finnegan Fox enthusiasm,
Yes!
show us on the floor. Oh, God, I see what you did there. You son. I like saggy melon.
Oh, there you go.
But, like, it just...
Hard at work.
This
is hard at work.
Messed up now.
Your boss?
Saggy, hold on.
Go get your boss. Go get your boss.
At work.
I need your clout.
Chasing off of me, bro.
I need your clout. Oh, wow.
I'm at work. You see, I'm working. I'm trying to
get
end
ready.
The night.
Get ready for the
live now while I'm trying to get my job
There's a
done.
reason for that. Get ready for the cancellation live in person.
Get ready for the cancellation. Yeah, you already get canceled. You already know.
Mom!
Yes, honey?
It happened again!
Did you have your mask on?
I always have my mask on.
Oh, I'm not on.
I already hold you. I was watching your other stream. You're like, I hope someone shows up. Listen, I'm backing down. I don't have I can't take the melons.
You don't want this. You don't want
this.
You don't
I don't know.
You don't.
I know you're stocking shelves? Oh wow, you're
smoke you do not want to mess with.
See, the accusations were false. Someone said you're doing a lot of texting network. And she's stalking.
Doing a text at work, damn right, because this is my job. I'm doing my job while we're talking. So
you know what
multitasking.
You know what the reality is? She was texting watching YouTube, and then she's like, "I'm going live. I better stock shelves."
Guest Tommy Telleriso.
Telleriso. Oh my God! All right. Restart the stream. Restart.
That's fine.
Nice chatting with you. I'll see you guys later.
Jeremy, I just reached 5K. Well, congratulations. Oh, thank you.
It really doesn't matter.
While you're here, if you'd like to consider memberships, it's only 99 cents.
Rip away, my friend. Rip away.
Because, man!
Movie Madness Entertainment. Welcome.
Mind taking this out to say thanks for watching MME. You're in the right place for great, I don't know, something.
What? I only know the name of the channel.
He's very charismatic.
Yeah,
he is very charismatic.
For sure.
Like if he wanted to run for president instead of Trump, oh my dear Lord.
Put that in there. This is great. Holy shit. I was having kind of a sad day. I wasn't feeling too good about myself. And then a couple of retards on the left said that I'm very charismatic, and if I was going to run for president, I would win.
Do you want to come on then? Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on? If anyone wants to come on,
Breaking news!
Okay.
And even Movie Madness is embarrassed by that. You just embarrassed your co-host that you were trying. Like that was weird, bro. That was embarrassing. You feel good about yourself after doing that?
Just because Jeremy pumps out the same video.
Guys, cut this video to pieces. I've had Jeremy on the stream, and Ethan is more charismatic than Jeremy. Oh, this is wonderful. Yes. Thank you so much. This guy's in love with me. I think if I proposed marriage to movie madness and entertainment, I think he would say yes. I got this guy swooning. This guy wants to S my D. Fairly sure.
Yep. He has
videos about me, talking about me and my family, my money, my life, trying to make me look bad with slanderous lies, taking my algorithm, snitching on me, dry snitching and everything. You have been warned. Stop or your face will be shown. So if you continue to...
I don't want to finish it. Sorry, I cut it off. Hey, everyone. It's me, Max, having a chill stream tonight. I crashed after work. Yeah, I missed the Last of Us watch party, which I'm sad about. I wanted to hang out with friends. Whoa. Hey, everyone, smash the like button. Hey, James Gunn. As much as my friends like to... Oh, I don't think it will bomb. I don't know. I don't think it's going to do as good as they want, though. I don't think it's going to bomb. I kind of wanted to have a casual, just me stream. I sent one link to someone that reached out to me yesterday I haven't talked to in a while that said they might want to talk, but I don't know if they're coming or not. I want to react to Tony's review because I'm very intrigued. Because I do think... Oh, thank you, Jade. Remember, tomorrow night we should be playing Outriders. Me, you, and Zeno. I got some topics. I want to catch up on the mailbag, the members' mailbag, which I really appreciate. It's not my intention to put the mailbag on the back burner, but there's opportunities when you get some people. This is how my show's always been. Not a lot of planning with special guests, and I don't like everything Ethan says. But he's very talented, and he doesn't deserve to be canceled, even though I don't like the stuff he does. But you know what? People on the left do crazy shit too. Maybe I'll get to this main topic first. I changed how I feel. I changed how I feel about content and how I am on the internet and what my goals are. I've got to the point where I want to talk to more people again. And when the other thing that happens before, when someone would say something that I didn't agree with, you focus on that. Say, I really try to correct them. But the person saying it knows people don't like it. And then it distracts from the overall conversation. And then the conversation doesn't go anywhere. Everyone's uncomfortable. And it then reverts into chaos beyond that. So, there were things said last night that I'm like, I really disagree with that. But nothing he said that was against the law. And he has every right to say those things. I just completely disagree. So I think that is where content creators that are more progressive leaning lose their minds on small details and try to correct and change the way people are. And you cannot change. That's the other thing. You cannot change people. And the only really path forward for a better future is to live with people, talk with people you completely disagree with. And once we got past that, we were just arguing about Superman. If you really ignore this stuff, not ignore it, it should be addressed. You don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you know what? The real world, people hurt feelings. They say ignorant stuff. They say things that offend other people. And that goes across the board. And I'm not easily offended, but everyone else is. Everyone else is. And I am not picking friends anymore at this point in my career. I'm going to be 41. I want to talk to more people. I want a larger audience in the future. And then I realized that a lot of people I know just hate on everything too, but just don't use the political angle. I'm not naming names or anything, but people like to get attention by saying this is horrible on the internet. And then the misconceptions of me as well. I have been going soft on James Gunn, and a lot of my friends, including some of you in the chat, really can't get it that I don't hate this man. I'm just critical of him, and I think he's very relevant. For example, the main topic for tonight. The main topic for tonight, his decisions with the Flash movie. But that is where I'm at now. I want to talk to more people. I want to give, when things happen on stream, like, I don't agree with that, but then move on, because it's not going to help if I just harp on that. Get off the stream. What's good's that going to do? I do not hate James Gunn. I do not. James Gunn is in the chat. He's a member. Would James Gunn be a member of my channel if I hated James Gunn? I mean, oh my God, I really don't want to say this, but it's getting to the point where the den of cringe was with toxic positivity, and I do not want to say that. Rational skeptic. It can't be Clooney. Oh, irrational. I found Dead or Alive 4 for my 360. It's in my Series X right now. I found it. Listen, everyone talks about James Gunn right now. Everyone. People. Gray. Oh, you're one to speak, Rational. Now Grace is BSing. Okay. Daniel Martin. Get those likes up, everyone. I want to be better at movie talk. I want to have more conversations. I also occasionally just want to do a solo stream as well. But that's how I feel. I've changed. This is how I feel now about content creation, about people I disagree with. And then when you move past the arguments that you're not going to change each other's mind on, there's like a lot of common ground. Like, we're just arguing about Superman last night. Matt Jarbo and Ethan Van Sciver weren't arguing about politics or some bullshit. They're arguing about Superman and how Superman should be portrayed. And that was great. That was great. So that's how I feel right now. And I do want to do more content. I feel bad that I've been slacking this week. I have been slacking. I will get to where I think it's George Clooney, but I want to first react to Tony's review of Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, because I am very interested. Okay. That's just my initial thoughts on how I feel right now. I thought I'd share that with you because I have really changed. I want to have more nerd arguments, but less overall personal attack arguments or arguments where you're not going to change people's. I'm not trying to change people's minds. I never was. Like, people get really triggered by some of my opinions, and I say I'm not trying to change your mind. This is just my opinion. And also, I would be lying to you if I didn't say what's on my mind. Like, when I want to create a topic for tonight, when I'm thinking about what's on my mind, when I have finally some free time to come to the internet, what's at the forefront of my mind? James Gunn, the decisions, the rumors about Batman for the Flash, how certain things were taken out of the ending and the rumors about new Batman that are put in. So that's naturally what I'm going to talk about. Link you. Oh my God. I'm trying to do. All right. I'll link you for a few minutes. Oh my. Yeah, I saw that you weren't going live, Matt. So I was like, I'll just go live. I'm really digging this robe. Woo, I feel like so plush. Here we go. Let's see what Matt has to say. But this is the other thing that's really intriguing about my channel. My channel is like Cheers. Like everyone comes here to talk. It's very hard for me to have a solo stream. And I'm happy to talk with Matt. But that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. Like I'm like, someone always wants to come in and talk. That's great. Hey, Matt.
Hey.
Hey. That's what I was just saying, that something's different about my channel. It's like really hard for me not to have a solo stream. And I'm glad to talk to you tonight.
Yeah,
It's just like a bar that you come to and like shoot the shit and then move on, you know?
Yeah, with like frequent bar fights that break out almost every day.
Well, you start a few yourself.
I never said that I don't.
No, but I said I've changed how I feel. I know you were critical of me yesterday. I don't like going back to the new hashtag and the people that are still in this. I'm like, if it wasn't for YouTube and doing these social media movements, we would probably all get along. I mean, I honestly, if you weren't both content creators and annoying each other, you could like have a beer with some of these people and chill out and like talk about stuff, or like once we got past some of the cringe comments. Look, I like EVS, but he had some cringe comments last night. I was like, oh shit. But then usually where I think leftist creators or progressive creators get too wound up is like they try to correct the person that they disagree with their opinion. I don't like some of the things he said, but then we moved on and you were fighting about Superman. You know, it's like, I'm tired of trying to change. I don't think I ever tried to change people's minds, but I'm just like, okay, I don't care. That's your opinion. And then you were arguing about Superman last night, you and EVS. You know, that was good. And boo, Matt sucks. Tony, hi, Tony.
I'm sorry. He wanted somebody successful on the channel. I don't know.
Oh no, Tony has. I'm going to react later on. I'm going to react to his Cyberfrog Wreck Planet review. I am kind of jealous that EVS gave it to him and not me. Damn it.
I think he asked for it though.
Yeah, but I think everyone knows. I think everyone knows I don't give good, unbiased reviews. Tony does. Tony, that's a strength of Tony. He is not going to sugarcoat anything. He's going to tell you exactly. Maybe too much, too critical. So I'm very
that can get you in a lot of trouble. Believe me. Mm-hmm. I know a thing or two about that.
What do you think of my new robe?
I think the robe looks good.
Yeah, it's nice.
I think the robe looks good.
Well, what do you think about we rolling into too many games like this and some really cool jammy bottoms, slippers, and like a pimp cane, my gloves? I don't know. I'm trying to put like the weird Dr. Doom thing together like this.
I mean, I don't know anything about Too Many Games.
Too Many Games is like a retro video game.
Oh, I see.
I might have an Amico shirt under here.
Oh God. Do you know? What's so funny is
I'm famous. I'll be the crazy Amico guy from the H Bomberman video.
Did you see that could actually get you a fair amount of attention?
Yeah, it did. It gave me some subs.
Yeah. No, I get it. Have you heard the report that apparently they did not have the rights to do Earthworm Jim 4?
Oh yeah, I completely believe that. Yeah.
I mean, but Doug Tenap, well, I mean, I don't know if he even has anything anymore himself.
Well, Doug Tenap does have some rights to it, yes.
Yeah, like I just thought that was really interesting. How that whole thing came together. I was like, what?
It's a disaster. I'm actually looking into trying to get my money back now, but I think it's not going to happen. But I'm going, hey, Bell Reef, how's it going?
I think we're at a point where if anyone owes you money in any capacity,
I could really use it right now. I could really use it.
Yeah.
No, that's the reason that took me to the tipping point. I'm like, I'm going to ask for it back now. but I don't know what I got to contact PayPal. One was a weird website called fig.co. I don't even know how to request my money back there.
Fig. Oh my God, that's an old one.
Yes, that's when that's
Oh,
where they first
wow.
put the Amico up, and I don't even know how to get there.
Okay.
Second one was PayPal. I could dispute with PayPal for one of the hundreds.
I mean, the Intellivision, if you go to fig.co right now, the Intellivision Amico is on the front page.
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't even think that site's been updated.
Well, no, I don't think so either. Right? They got $11.5 million. According to this, they got $11.5 million, and it was successfully funded and closed on April 16th, 2021. Man, time has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Time has not been good to the Amico.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's hysterical, to be honest with you. Like the Amico situation in and of itself is,
I'll never forget it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, and you shouldn't, because there's been other consoles that have, like, I don't know if you remember the Phantom.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, when that was first talked about?
I heard a little bit about it, yeah.
So when the Phantom was first talked about, and this was like 20 years ago, right? When the Phantom was first brought up, there was it was rumored to play the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, the GameCube, and PC games at that time. It could run everything. It was going to use emulation software to be able to run the ROMs for the console games. And it got written about, and like, I think IGN wrote about it. I think it was in like even fucking Game Informer. And at the time, do you remember Mad Catz, the peripheral company?
Yeah.
So their headquarters was like literally on my, it was on my way to the drive-in. Like, the guy who was one of their lead developers, his wife is one of my very, very, very good. I'm friends with the whole family, but like, he worked for Mad Catz. She worked at the drive-in. So I got a whole bunch of free Mad Catz shit over the years. But, he came in one night and I asked him about it. I was like, what do you know about the Amico, or not the Amico, about the Phantom? And he's like, it's bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. There's no way they're going to be able to do all that and sell the system, because you're not going to be able to sell the ROMs. That would be considered illegal. But a couple years down the road, a version of the Phantom made its way to E3, literally on the show floor. A version of the Phantom was there. Did it play the PlayStation, the Xbox, the GameCube, or PC games? No, not really. It played Flash games. They were demoing off Flash games. So if you look at to me, if you can ever go find some of the old footage, I'm sure it exists. It was so funny to look at and to see with my own two eyes. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that's the fabled Phantom. And this thing is just absolute bullshit.
Yeah. I think the Intellivision fiasco was such a big disaster that I don't think any company's going to want to come in and do a product unless they have a really solid product for the retro community, retro reimagined.
Yeah.
I mean, the retro boom is still there, where people buying the old games on the actual system, the actual hardware and system. But I think Amico killed it. Mike Mullis covered the Phantom of Israel. Actually, I have also another quick topic here that I was going to do alone, but since you're here, it'd be great to do it with you.
Yeah, I'm just reorging some bills, because tonight was bad, man. Tonight was bad. Driving wise, I did like $50 in 4 hours. That's dead. And tonight's not good.
Well, this is from Real Anarchy. This is kind of funny. I want to play this.
The one that I want to see is this flip flopper Campia who has a. I saved that video. He did a video where he's just
I think he's right on this take.
Stupid moron for keeping Ezra on the movie, that they should fire him and all this nonsense.
Bring back Ezra Miller. You can't bring back Ezra Miller.
I guarantee you that.
I think he's right. Now, listen, did you hear this take yet, Matt?
Not this take from Ben.
No, this is a good take. I think he's right.
Monday when he does his live stream, which I'm gonna watch just for that purpose, I bet you he's gonna be drooling all over the freaking trailer.
Yeah,
he's gonna give a little disclaimer. Disclaimer: I still do not like Ezra Miller, but this trailer was amazing.
Yeah, I think he's right. After that, Do you agree?
Yeah. No. I think I do believe that. I do think that he's going to end up doing that kind of shit. Where because again, it's like when you're John Campea, and I don't know if you've heard me refer to him as John Francis Campea. That's how I refer to him. I'm like John Francis. I just feel like that's like his middle name. I know it's Giovanni something Campea, but it just sounds John Francis sounds right. But the thing with John Francis is that he is just he's so out of touch with where things are. This is what I don't understand about the John Campea show. How in God's name it pulls in the people that it does. And I think that it does that at this point for a couple of reasons. One is the people are curious what he's going to say next. Because he just has these like brain dead out there.
Well, I mean,
sometimes.
That's where people succeed on YouTube. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have valid points. It's just that they're most out there.
Yeah. You know? I mean, well, he also, you got to remember though, like before, so there's I don't know if you could find the info, you probably can't, but so before the Tobey Maguire dick pic, right? He was only pulling in maybe like 1,800 to maybe 2,200 people a day. Now that's not complaining. I get like 130, but that's really good. So after the Tobey Maguire dick pic fiasco, he jumped to like 4,500 people, and it has maintained that for the most part. I think now it's dropped down to like 3,000, maybe 3,200 on most days. But if it's a big topic like Monday, he'll have a lot of people watching him for his reaction to the trailers. Like that's guaranteed. So, but it's really interesting how he took that, he took that situation where he completely spoiled the movie and then was able to somehow finagle that into doubling his fucking numbers and then maintaining that for over a year. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it.
Once
like
you get in the algorithm and his live streams and then his editors that clip out videos like right after he's done with the live stream, no one can compete with that. It just bam, bam.
Well,
bam,
no, I mean, I could easily compete with that. That's not it's very easy to do, right? Like what Campea does is he's talked about this a little bit. And so he'll record his stream as he's live streaming it, because you can do that with OBS.
Yeah.
And then he'll, clip it out. They have the 6 video clips, or the 6 top stories of the day. And here's the thing. He has all of his notes. Everything is ready to go. So that means his thumbnail design work is already done. His video description stuff is already done. His headlines are already done. Everything that he needs to do is already done because
he's a team.
He's got a team of people. And that's the other thing about this as well. I do think that a lot of, I think that they manufacture a lot of the emails that he gets in. I do. I think
You've said this before. Yes.
I do think that because it's like,
I don't think he needs to. I think you're wrong.
No, I don't think he specifically needs to.
Well, for very, very like clickbaity subjects, but yeah, I think you're right. Like when he knows someone didn't ask, but he wants to talk about something. What was it me? I'm just responding to a question. He's got in trouble for that before too.
But when I'm talking to Tony says, Matt, compete with Campea in regards to the output. I didn't say the response. The output is easy to do. You can clip it out yourself. Here's the thing. If you're live streaming, while you're live streaming, go into the YouTube live stream dashboard. And as you're live streaming, you can clip out segments while you're live. You can set all that up, right?
Well, I've tried to do clip outs, and I'm going to do a few from today, but it you know what my problem is just my 20 years of typing and data entry, also working customer service. My wrist just like after a while, I'm like, oh.
Do you know what you do on that front?
That's why I don't even like thumbnails anymore. You're like, you criticize me. I'm like, I don't even care. I just want to do the topic because all of the extra stuff is killing me just because of my regular job. And when I used to help my wife with hers, I used to do closed captioning for her videos and stuff and get them on Amazon.
Yeah.
While doing my wrists are just done for. I don't know how I'm going to keep up my regular schedule at work for next 20 years.
Well, go and get like wrist, wrist braces.
I have a wrist brace. I do.
See, I get tendonitis in my right elbow, and you'll see me occasionally on video having a brace on, and that's because of like where my desk is and how I use my mouse. So it's like I have to use it when I'm at my computer most of the time. What I do though for the whole writing thing, because I type at like 85, 90 words a minute on average. Like that's like once I get going, I can easily get up to over 100. It's just warming up, right? But what I like to do in the meantime is I use speech to text. I just go to Google Docs and you can actually bring up a little thing, a little prompt and talk into your microphone. And so like what I'll do is I'll like, you know, I'll say a blurb or whatever in Google Tech in there. And then I just copy that and I throw it into Chat GTP to make it sound more interesting. And then it retweaks it for me. And then I'm like, okay, cool. This can work out. Okay. You know, it's just using tools to your advantage and everything else is really what it boils down to. But I get it. We're getting older, right? Like we're getting like,
yeah, like this, I've never not had a job since I was out of school. Like I've been consistently working for 20 years and a lot of it's typing and talking to customers. And I get timed on a lot of my stuff. Like I'm older than some of my coworkers now when I was the young one for a while, and they are faster than me because they're fresh into this game. I've been doing it for 20 years. And I just can't keep up.
Well, I mean, and that's part of it too, is like, you know, I look at these people now that do like, let's say, you know, these terminally online individuals that, you know, like if you look at Campia, even like look at Campia and look at how terminally online he is. So he'll do the show in the morning from like 10 to noon or somewhere in there. Right. And then like he'll go away for a little bit, go for a walk, come back. Then he'll do like the afternoon wrap up where it's the overages of I don't know if he's still doing that at all. I don't know if he's still doing the post show or whatever. And then like for a while he was doing like gaming streams at night. And then he'll do like the John Campia After Dark occasionally. Like this guy is online all the time.
Yeah, that's what I would be if I didn't have a regular job.
But the thing is though, like, you know, he just turned 50. He's almost 51. He turns 51 this month. And it's like they don't have kids. So like his entire thing is his life. And
even more crazy is Robert Meyer Burnett. Like he does all that for Campia and then he goes and does his own stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. No. I know. Oh, I know. And I think they all were at maybe not Campia, but like the premiere of Picard season 3 last night at the Egyptian happened. I have some friends who were there and they had a blast. You know, but I think like, again, a lot of it is with a lot of people, you know, it's like, how do you do this YouTube thing? Well, you gotta be online all the time.
Right.
And that like,
that's why I quit the first time. I'm like, even remember when you and Saggy got me back?
Yeah.
With some other friends. I was like, even if I could start to progress, to maintain it would take all my energy.
It's definitely
even if you progress to maintain it, you just can't stop.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's where it's like, this is where I know people will complain about the AI side of things, but goddamn, I'm able to fucking get my workload relatively really, really quickly done. Like,
well, for example, if you're like a channel that's not a huge channel and you're movie talk and you take like a week or two off, it's going to take you a couple months to get back to the regular, you know, to get really same numbers. You're going to start to be out of that for a little bit. For me, at least, that's my take.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because what it is also is you train your audience, right? So, like, for example, like you clip out the stuff, like the AI stuff was probably your best performing side video in a while, right? I actually came up with my recommended again today for some reason. And I listened to it again the whole 18 minutes. So you're going to get like, and I was on it and I was like, all right, you know,
it's almost 1,000 views. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a solidly interesting video because we were talking about a current event that's going to be impacting a lot of shit. Also, sexy women in the thumbnail always works.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing. Yeah. That's why I put them all in there.
Yeah. But I even like your stream last night, like I looked at the comment section today and I saw that it's mostly EVS people.
Yeah.
That were commenting on that, you know, but they enjoyed the conversation. So that part's good. But you know, but again, it's like
none of them subscribed.
Yeah. That's always how it goes. Yeah, because you're not him, right? That's the whole point of like when people go,
they're here for him.
Yeah. When people go, oh, it's like, you know, go on other people's shows. It's like, well, you might get some people that come on over, but for the most part, like it's, you know, it takes about 3-4 times for you to go be a guest on someone's show to kind of get that trust built with the audience sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, again, talking about the audience,
I don't have the trust from your audience after all these years.
No, a lot of people are in here that come over to my stream anyway, you know, and there's people in your chat who absolutely hate me. So, and I relish that, to be fair. Hate me, please. It's all good. Just give Max your money. There we go. Like
it's that StreamYard thing this week. I thought it wasn't coming until April. I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, no, I got hit with a couple bills I totally forgot about. And
I was like, damn, bad timing.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why even right now I'm like, I'm looking at I was looking at a video today, and it was a short. It was a short, and it was like how to make thousands of dollars in passive income for lazy people, and I'm like, all right, it's only a minute, right? And I clicked on it, and it was just like sell T-shirts through Etsy, but design them in Canva, build
or AI.
Right, or AI, you build them through like another app or whatever, and then there's another website that you can put it's like a Teespring type website that you can link to your Etsy storefront, and so if people order through Etsy, it just goes to this third party. Each Etsy and this third party take their cut, and you get what's left of that, and it's like that's just it's because have you ever heard of the term drop shipping? You ever heard of that term?
Mm-mm.
All right, so drop shipping is a thing people do where it's like, let's say for example, you have a storefront, right, on Amazon or whatever, and you're selling movies, right? You're selling older movies or some shit, like on eBay. You're selling older movies on eBay, and people buy a copy of it. So they give you the money, you charge whatever you're going to charge. You then go to like Amazon or some other retailer, you buy the copy of it through another retailer and have it shipped to that person. You basically act as the middleman. So when I had first moved to LA, I had trouble finding work. Like, it was difficult. Right. And I was like, I need fucking money. And cause my savings are starting to run out, and I'm like, oh shit. Right. So I'd heard about the drop shipping thing. And so like, I tried it. I tried this, it was this Chinese website. I forget what it's called, but I bought a lot of crap through them over the years, and they were good, right? They were good. But I'm like, I went on eBay and I sold this like Nintendo Wii controller thing or some shit, whatever the fuck it was. I forget. Right. And some lady in Florida bought it, which is fine. And I go through and I do it, and I order her the stuff. And then you know what happens? There's a fucking hurricane that that just delays all shipping for like 2 weeks. And then she's up my ass about this thing. And I'm like, look, I ordered it for, she's like, why is it taking so long? You live on the other side of the country. And I'm like, yeah, I had to get it through my people in China. So because of the hurricane, it's being delayed. And I ended up refunding her the money. She got the goddamn item anyway, and I lost $25 on the deal. And I'm just like, this is not a good idea, right?
I don't know how people do that.
I think what you need is a little bit of like startup capital to get going, sort of thing. Like, like when I moved from San Diego to LA,
quantity that dealing with this, every once in a while you're gonna have a loss, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Tony says drop shipping is a quarterings coffee. That's true, but in the case of the quarterings coffee, a lot of other people go through them. They're an outlet anyway, right? But they've also established themselves as a distributor. So it's just a little bit different.
You're CJHing me on. I'm trying to do a clip. I'm trying to do this clip out. I want to do this quick topic because you saw that other thing with the rumors are that James Gunn may introduce a different Batman at the end of The Flash, George Clooney or Christian Bale. And here's where I want to get your speculation after I share mine. I think if this is true, first of all, that I think it will be George Clooney. The reason is, what is James Gunn's strengths? And everyone says I hate James Gunn. I do not hate James Gunn. His strengths are to subvert your expectations in a good way and make the quirky, very popular and fun. So what is the one Batman that everyone like notoriously hates except Brian, Master of None, is George Clooney's interpretation of Batman. He's like, I'm going to take the worst Batman and make you like him. So that is my take on if this happens. But the other thing I'm thinking is, why is he going to do this in the Takeout Batflick? I think he has a lot of reasons to be a little bit arrogant about the way he could do things and make some things that no one else can make popular. I think he deserves that credit, actually. But I also think he gets stuck in that. Like, I'm going to make you, this is going to be your favorite Batman. So that's my take if he does it. I doubt it would be Christian Bale. Go ahead, Matt.
I don't think it's going to be Christian Bale unless somehow Warner Brothers has worked out their differences with Chris Nolan. I think that's just,
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but the other reason is there was already a Robin in his version of the Batman, and if he's going to the Damian Batman's son, that would make more sense with his version too, because that Batman already had a Robin. Boom.
Well, technically at the end, there was the Robin setup at the end of The Dark Knight Rises, but it wouldn't have been Robin. It would have been
No, I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Oh, you're comparing to Christian Bale's version. Yeah, Batman and Robin with Clooney. But yes, they also hinted at that, but they never really got to it. But in Batman and Robin, they full went in. They had Batman, they had Robin and Batgirl. So,
Batman and Robin. See, like I enjoy Batman and Robin for what it is. For what it is. Like it's not good, but there's elements of it that I enjoy. It's not something it's like memeable. The Bat credit card, all the Mr. Freeze puns, the Bat nipples. I mean, things like that. Like Coolio for some reason. I mean, the whole lore change about Alicia Silverstone being Alfred's granddaughter. Okay. But then again, they'd also kind of failed to establish Jim Gordon in the in the Burton movies, even really. They failed to really kind of set that up as well. And then I think one of the reasons why there was this re-emphasis on Jim Gordon had a lot to do with the Batman the Animated Series. I think building up that relationship. But anyway, but I love Batman Forever, by the way. I unequivocally love that movie. It's great. But Bale, but Kilmer can't come back. He has no voice.
Right.
Unless he's a cameo, just a cameo, and maybe they use AI to alter the voice. I mean, that could potentially be a thing. Then you've got Bale's kind of the only other one. I mean, Adam West is dead, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and Batfleck is already in the movie. Keaton's already in the movie. Having another one, just kind of, why not? It's icing on the cake. If Kevin Conroy was still alive, may he rest in peace. If it was Kevin Conroy popping up as, I would have lost my shit. Mm-hmm. But I think it's probably going to be Clooney, because you have to understand.
It's a solid idea.
Well, here's the other thing too.
No one would expect it.
Well, Clooney's a company man.
Yeah.
Clooney, what you guys don't realize about George Clooney is George Clooney made a comment a long time ago.
Does he have a good relationship with Warner Brothers? I don't know what.
Yes, the Ocean's trilogy was all done through Warner Brothers. True. The movie he won an Oscar for, Good Night and Good Luck, where he was at least nominated, was through Warner Independent. And what you have to remember about Clooney when it comes to his directorial efforts, which are all actually really good, what he did is he worked with Warner Brothers and other studios in order to be able to fund the money for his personal projects. Mm-hmm. So if he wants to make another movie, then he'll probably come in to take a larger paycheck. There was that new one he was just in, The Ticket to Paradise with Julia Roberts. That actually did really good on PVOD, and it did okay theatrically. And the audience it was intended for really liked it. So I could see Clooney coming back and doing this.
And he can use like older actors and actresses. They in their past they're like, oh, I don't like that role or whatever. But usually they always come back to like a franchise role to give them a little bit of padding later on in life. I think he could use another one of those too. I'm not saying that's the only reason he would do it, but they would be good for him and the Warner Brothers. And I think it would surprise people.
Well, I think, I agree. I do agree. I think that if you were to people in the audience aren't going to boo if they see George Clooney, right? Like if they see George Clooney, they're not going to boo. They wouldn't boo if they saw Bale, but Bale is way too in his own space as an actor. And I do think, if you want my honest opinion, I do think that what happened with Thor: Love and Thunder might sour him on coming back. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not. Now, the reason I say that is because he's made comments, I should say, about what we didn't see with Gore the God Butcher, and how there was a lot more with him that got cut out.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah. And so because when you bring in somebody like Christian effing Bale, to play your villain, he's going to bring method with him. He's going to bring this excellent performance. And he did. He was really good in the whole movie. He was
I didn't like him in that movie.
Oh, I loved him in the movie. I thought he was the best part of the whole film and everything. And so I feel like, but then he wasn't too happy, I think, necessarily with how things kind of panned out. And, but then again, that could work for or against this in regards to where he's like, well, I did another superhero movie. I didn't like the way that I was treated. Here, they want me to come back to do Batman. That clearly would be popular. It would, work well with the fans, yada, yada, yada. I mean, Amsterdam came and crashed and burned last year, right? That was the one, and like, that was, he's all in front of that one. Thor: Love and Thunder came out, it did well, but like, again, it wasn't the most well received. So you could make the argument at some point that, there's, I guess, so many other ways they could, I don't know. I think Clooney's going to be the one.
I think it's a good idea, actually. I just, also sort of like the angle, like, unfinished business, sort of like Spider-Man, where even more so than, who's the first Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, yeah.
Andrew Garfield had more like unfinished than Tobey, even, I think. Like, his movie got cut off. I think it's sort of like that angle. I just don't like removing other cameos to put new ones in. But I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't be excited for that. That would be exciting. I think George could do a really great fatherly Bruce Wayne. An older Bruce Wayne. I think there was a lot there with George too. George is a great actor. And now, honestly, now that we both said our opinion for this clip out, which I am going to clip out, about who we think it would be, George over Christian, we know it's not going to be Val. We know it's not going to be Batfleck. And Michael Keaton, we already know is in it, but apparently the rumors are that his part was taken out of the ending, at least. Regardless of which way they go, which would you rather personally see? And I would still stick with George. I think there is a lot more to gain with George than bringing Christian back. There's actually something to lose with Christian, when with bringing George back, there's only something to gain.
Yeah, I mean, with George, I think that there's a redemption arc they could pull from that.
Mm-hmm.
They could do that. Be like, he could be like, oh God, back 26 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Because Batman Forever, or Batman and Robin, just hit 25 years and like no one talked about it. I think it was 97, right? Batman and Robin was 97.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, this rumor surprised me. I didn't think they were going to do this. It surpassed my expectations. I thought they were just going to leave the Flash as is and not add anything to it, but they're adding different things to it. I'm like, okay, all right, got my attention a little bit. Got my attention.
I mean, it's possible. I think if I don't know, again, I have no freaking idea what they're gonna do with any of that. As we go, into as we go in further into this, I don't know. Like, sorry, like this movie's confusing for me.
Yes.
Only because it's not that I'm not against it. I definitely want to see it, even though Ezra's got his problems. But I think a big issue is going to be like, it almost feels like because of the tumultuous nature of the merger and everything else, it's just that movie is just one that everyone's like, okay, this has got to, they got to really land the plane on this one. So that is going to be about the legacy as well. If they don't have a decent enough legacy, they're going to kind of screw themselves. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't figure out how to reset things with still 2 movies coming out in 2023 after this one, that's the thing I don't get. Like, I don't get what their plan is. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, and I know you probably disagree with me on this one, but I do trust in the storytelling abilities of James Gunn. I think
I do. I think he's bitten off more than he could chew, just with the amount of things that he is involved way more than Feige is in every aspect of this. I think, like writing and
well, I mean, but they brought him in specifically for that. And I think that's what people out there are failing to remember.
I just don't trust Zaslav.
Well, Zaslav. Well, here's the thing. Zaslav, for the most part, is very much the. You have to remember that he's put the trust into James and Peter.
Mhm.
Okay, so the reason why he put the trust into James and Peter is because that's, what they were brought on for, right? I think the biggest complaint that a lot of people who are like the pro Snyders have is that it came at such a time when it's like Henry's back and now he's not. And it feels like there was some, that there was some shitty shit going on. Right. And I get people feeling that way, but it's like, at the same time, Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi made a bad call.
I don't think so.
They made a bad call.
They were doing their job at the time, and Zaslav changed his mind.
No.
Based on box office.
No, Max. No. You are at this point you are making shit up.
No, I actually did the research. Zaslav's the earnings call. He said Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca are beefing up these projects to make them better than ever.
They did, yeah. Well, they and again, that's the hype thing. He said, "Can we make these projects better?" That's what he was saying, and this was a way that they tried to make the project better. But the thing is, it was Henry coming back was a marketing ploy. It was a marketing ploy, and it was hopeful that the push for that coming off of Comic-Con would have been more than enough to rocket Black Adam. If Black Adam would have been a better movie, right, I'm not saying it's bad. If it just would have been a better movie, it would have had more impact. But Henry had nothing to do with any of it. And that, of course, is the biggest problem here. It's like, what they should have done if they were going to delay the movie by a little bit was to have like a much longer tease at the end of that thing than just like, Black Adam, it's been a long time since someone's made the world this nervous. We need to talk. Like that line or whatever the hell it was. Like the problem with that is that they listened to Dwayne. They let Dwayne go. Okay. Sorry. Let me just kind of go back a second. What you have to recall here is the timeline. The timeline starts in August, not September, but August. Back when Batgirl was canceled and Hamada was fucking furious, right? Hamada was furious. He threatened to quit. And then Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca talked him into staying until Black Adam rolled out. Now, during this time where there was like, they knew that Hamada was on his way out. There was like, this movie got delayed by a few months. There was a moment in time for Dwayne and his team to act, which they did. They went to Hamada about bringing Cavill in. Hamada said no, because that was something that Emmerich had decided many years ago, and Hamada didn't see it as a net positive for the movie, which ultimately he was correct because it didn't move the needle, right? We know this now, but not then. So then The Rock goes around Hamada, who's on his way out, and a person that he's apparently friendly with because they worked together on Shazam at New Line and everything else, right? And so he goes around him to DeLuca and Abdi, and basically he's like, "Look, Henry's on board. We'll do these 2 cameos or whatever. This is the price, and $500,000." So they greenlit it. They got Zaslav's approval. They shot it in a day. They put it in the movie, and it didn't do anything. Right? It didn't do anything. So that is the reason, if anything, why the Zaslav was already talking with James and Peter before they made the announcement that was already done. This was just like either the decision had been made in October, like middle to late October, or well before then, because they announced it that it was happening, and then but not until it didn't take place until November 1st was when they're going to take over. It wasn't like the deal was just signed the day before. You know what I mean? Like that was already happening. But I think what it was is DeLuca and Abdi and Dwayne were hopeful that the money that Black Adam was going to earn, if it did well enough to warrant continuing down this pathway. And it just didn't. And that part sucks. But that's not James Gunn's fault. Right? That's not James Gunn's fault. Because at that point in time, we know that they would have already been pitching ideas to Zaslav. And he was already writing a Superman movie. Because you got to remember that back in 2018, when he got fired from Disney, he was first approached by DC, like I think the next day, right? After he was let go, He was literally called up the next day by Hamada and Emmerich, right? Come on over to us. Like, we don't care. Come on over to us. We could use the help. So they got him like the next day. The first thing they asked him to do is a Superman movie. And this would have been without Henry Cavill. Because remember, they fired Henry Cavill officially in September of 2018. That was when they got rid of him. Was when that the story broke in the Hollywood Reporter. It was confirmed by Henry Cavill. Danny Garcia was like, it's not done till it's done, sort of thing. And they made no movement on that.
To give Zaslav benefit of the doubt, maybe they were eventually going to do Gunn 2, and if it was successful, they would have let The Rock and them continue in the Elseworlds. I don't know. And then that just got
But
stopped.
the Elseworld, but again, as I've tried to explain to RJ, and I really need people to understand this, the Elseworlds thing that he has mentioned is largely irrelevant. And what I mean by that is the Batman is its own thing. It was already
the stuff that's already done. Yeah.
The stuff that's already in production is what's going to be maintaining, unless something is really good, like a pitch is really good. They're not going to want to do it. The Ta-Nehisi Coates one, I don't know what's happening with that.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Like, but that's,
I mean, I'm not against it, but come on.
It's like, but again, that could be an Elseworlds thing that they use for down the road or whatever. I don't know. But you can't sit there and tell me that James Gunn is going to promote all these Elseworld projects, like sell Snyder the Netflix or whatever, when he says in the first like 30 seconds of that video he put out 2 weeks ago, our job is to create a cohesive universe in movies, television, gaming, and animation. But they want to use the same actors across the board. They want to tell a congruent story
I think
that's cohesive.
I think I will applaud them when that happens. I think that can be a recipe for disaster, though.
It's not a recipe.
Based on how much stuff gets delayed, and I know everyone's good. This is the no Warner Brothers or DC Studios. This isn't Warner Brothers, but how much delays and working and integrating storylines with video games, animation also takes a really long time in movies.
Well, I mean, the rate that DC craps out their animated movies, I mean, like, doesn't take that long.
But to have them all interconnect, I mean, if they do it, that's beyond Feige. Feige can't do that either. So I'm like, okay.
No, Feige, I believe has, you know, like Feige has a vision, right? And so he had a vision from the beginning, and obviously Iger trusted him, and Feige trusts Gunn, Zaslav trusts Iger and Horn, they trust Gunn. Okay. So we have to look at it from that perspective as well. Like, there was a huge listening tour, like Zaslav, like the guy's a boomer, but I don't think that David Zaslav actually like went, you know, he did this haphazardly. Okay. He went on that massive month listening tour. You know, the thing that people hate about Zaslav is how he treats animation, because he looked at animation very similarly to how Chapek did. Animation is aimed at children, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit, right? Like, we know it's a lie. But the whole slaughterhouse that they did back in August and September was definitely not cool. They said that they're done with that, right? They're done with cutting those as rapidly as they did. And I feel that we will eventually see Batgirl. I think we're going to eventually see.
I hope. I want to see all this. There's not a movie that I don't want to see. I want to see everything.
Well, let me quickly respond to Larry there. He says that's what the Elseworlds, you know, Flash, whatever, multiverse. The multiverse is not going to happen. All right. Not in the way that you think. The multiverse is a very, it's not going to work for congruency and continuity's sake in regards to the world that they want to build. Not for at least 10 years. Because you have to understand that the method that they're going to go about this, and this is just the most Occam's razor answer. This is the simplest explanation. You would be killing your brand if you dove into the multiverse right now, right? I mean, like, they're doing the Flash and they're resetting things. Notice how they've used the word reset, or, you know, not reboot, reset is the word that James has used. And it has nothing to do with, you know, they acknowledge the multiverse exists in this fashion, but it's not going to be something that ends up being the centerpiece for a long time, because this is the reset. Now, this is the great reset. Now you've got to go and reestablish everything. And that's going to take those 8 to 10 years to set up your villains, to set up, you know, your future stories, these new characters, and get for one. And the main thing, Max, is to get the audience on board. You've got to get the goddamn audience on board. And if you start messing with everything again and you start tweaking it and you've got 25 Supermen and 18 million Batmans and like still no Batgirl, right? Whatever the hell they put that they're, you know, that was happening kind of before, the audience just gets confused. Now, it's not to say that the audience can't figure it out. I think the audience is smart enough to figure it out, but it's like juggling. It's a lot of work to juggle, right? To keep your eye on those balls, and they can fall pretty quickly. And I think Warner's has proven they can't juggle very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I have a weird segue into what is RJ doing right now, because I saw this on Twitter.
I don't know. He's probably asleep or jerking off or whatever.
Well, funny you should mention that.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I saw the lotion,
yeah.
The remote and the lotion right there next to Supergirl.
I did. Yeah. I saw I did see the lotion. I did see the lotion.
Like, RJ, do you know what you're doing? Why would you post it on Twitter? Just a coincidence, RJ? What's with the lotion, RJ? I'm gonna do a clip out and do a big arrow pointing to the lotion. But that's cool that he got. Did he get all this from the library or what? You know?
Yeah. You can get a lot from the library. You know, I mean, there's a lot that, you know, the library, dude. The library is such an amazing resource that a lot of people do not know. I mean, like, that people just tend to forget about. But like, you know,
especially now.
You go to the library, there's you know, free audiobooks, right? There's movies you can rent. I mean, there's a lot, like, you know, I go to my library and like they've already got like some of the latest movies that are already on home video for rent. Mm-hmm. Like, and I was like, wow, like pretty quickly they had Spider-Man No Way Home available for rent on home video.
Oh, look at that stack of Xbox games there too.
Oh yeah,
in the very corner. Oh, RJ.
Yeah, you gotta love someone who's like, I'm so poor, and then it's like, but
I'm
getting
it like that. I've been there.
Well, no, but he's like,
listen, I know about that. Yeah, but
oh, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I actually the other day I was
that's a fat stack of Xbox games there, my buddy.
I was looking at an Xbox Series X, like financing it. I'm like, ooh, do I want to? And then I'm like, no, I have other bills to pay.
I want to use the GameCube emulation. They've been this last month. They've been doing some really great stuff.
Have you seen the emulation on the Xbox Series S?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Oh yeah,
X and S do it the same.
Yeah, but apparently the S is better at it. I don't know. Like when I got my S 2 years ago. By the way, I haven't even turned on my PS4 in 2 years. So like that tells you right now I've been back in the Xbox game, which I do want. I'll tell you this. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the Xbox Series X, right? Because I'm just back in my PlayStation phase. And then when they release a PS5 Slim that's digital only, that's what I'll end up getting. So I'm in no rush to get a PS5.
You know what you should do? You wait, and then if you do get a PS5 that's the Slim, just get like PlayStation Plus Premium. You could play all that games without buying.
Well, that's the whole point. Yeah, that's the point. But Protoss asking you're to get 2 Xboxes. No. I'll have the other Xbox that would be like in the other room for like the kids, right? Or I mean, like there's a website that I go to. You can watch movies. Normal films that, you know, isn't an app on the thing. And I can bring up, you know, Microsoft Edge on the browser feature for the Xbox. And like, that's the thing is like last night I laid in bed and I watched, I think like an episode or 2 of Velma the other night. I had just watched that from like this website, you know, and like in bed, and it works just fine. And it looks perfect. So, you know, it's like, what cracks me up about that, there's an article in Variety about piracy the other day, like about how this isn't like Variety's premium stuff, but like they know that it's bad, guys. Like I was thinking about this tonight, Max. Like, did you ever dabble in sailing the high seas of the internet back in the day?
Napster days.
The Napster days. Okay, so
But
like
here's my angle. I only did stuff that I couldn't buy, like songs from bands I liked. I did download Kid A and Amnesiac before they came out because I loved Radiohead so much back then.
Yeah,
and then
I like you're not gonna like you don't got to justify it to me. I think there's always I don't always believe that there's valid reasons to pirate certain things. I think if you can get it, but certain things are just region locked or they're just like pulled out of circulation. Like for example, take True Lies for example. Why can't I buy that on Blu-ray? Why can't I know it is coming this year? The Abyss and True Lies are both coming, I think, either Blu-ray or 4K. But it's like good. You'll get my money. But in the meantime, I may want to watch this in another place, So
we do want to get to Rational Skeptic, $5.
Yeah.
Matt, do you agree the Berlanti verse should have been killed the moment the DCU kicked off back in 2016 with BVS? No. It was fine. They kept doing their thing. I don't think it should have been killed. I'm glad they got to mostly conclude a lot of storylines there, even though it got a little crazy. There's a lot of content there. I'm happy.
I believe that they should have probably killed it off. But what you have to remember though is that in 2014, right, was like the second season of second season of Arrow, because the first season dropped in 2013, right at the same time as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They came out right around the same time, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was not as good as Arrow. Arrow was like solidly Batman. It had that vibe and stuff. And then season 2 of Arrow comes around, and you hear, they're gonna be bringing in Barry Allen. Barry Allen's gonna make an appearance in the show, and so they had a little arc with Barry Allen, and they shot an episode that worked as like a backdoor pilot for The Flash. But then they saw that it was actually really well received, and they go, okay, well, no, I think they saw that it was good. So they decided to go and actually film a real pilot for the show. But that kicked off in the fall of 2014. So the second season of Arrow, which is really good. The first couple seasons of Arrow are great. And then you got The Flash, which also had a banger of a first season. And then they also introduced Legends of Tomorrow, which was a solid first season. And they started building out this cavalcade of characters. Like, did you know that for a time, Wentworth Miller, who played Captain Cold, and him and John Barrowman, they were going to have this kind of like overarching contract to pop in and out of different shows as needed. Right now, they do pop up. These characters very much often interacted with each other. They did really good as a way to establish this world of these characters and stuff. But then, you got Supergirl, right? And that ended up being on CBS, and they did the crossover, and, like it started getting a little bit wonky and a little bit weird. But then as time went on, these shows just started falling apart.
Yeah, the farther they go. What I think my theory is, once a lot of these production companies that do multiple shows within like a production company, they have the best talent start the show and then get 2 seasons in when it doesn't get canceled. Then they move on to the next show. They lessen the budget and they put the B team on. And that's why this quality slides, because they're like, okay, now get this project started. That's my theory.
Yeah.
As to why it happens like that. Like Berlanti, he's probably got his A team, his B team, and his C team. And he's like, okay, get this show started. That's why it's good at the start. And then that team moves on to another show. And then the B team comes in to keep doing storylines. And then they also, a lot of TV shows back in the day, every season they would, like, to keep the show going, they would kind of lower the budget a little bit, That's my thought. That's my theory. I also wanted to, this is amazing. I didn't see this trailer. The Fast X, and she is a star.
I haven't watched the trailer yet because I haven't seen Fast 9.
Me either. But Daniela Melchior.
Melchior? Yeah.
Melchior. Yeah. I really believe that she eventually will have a big role besides just Ratcatcher 2. And I know people said this is just for the animated, but if that is true, that's a good gateway for her to leap in the live action Wonder Woman in the future as well. I don't know, but I see it. I don't know why I see it so much with this actress, and I think she's a star. Like, I think everyone was drawn to her in the Suicide Squad. She was, even people don't like the movie, like, but that rat catcher too. You know, very charismatic, very likable, easy to root for, you know? So that's, I can't unsee it now that I covered. I know that's a rumor and everyone gets mad at me like, you, Max, it's not true. It's just a rumor. I understand that, but I can't unsee it now.
Yeah.
I can't unsee it.
I mean, and the thing is though, I'll be fully honest, that other image of her selfie in the mirror, it's not one you want to unsee.
No, that
she's very attractive.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes. Not that it's a competition between her and Gal either. Like, very striking, like Gal. Even maybe more so. You know. But look, just look her in this picture behind the scenes of Fast 10. I mean, you're drawn to her almost over Vin. I like Vin, but you know, she looks like legit. I hope she has a cool role in this, and then more ladies get cooler roles in the Fast series at the end. So I hope she has a decent sized role in this.
Well, I mean, I saw
in this movie.
Yeah, I saw a couple screenshots of, you know, what was it? Brie Larson with you know, her sleeved hat and holding a shotty. And I'm like, all right, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I want to watch Fast 9 before I watch this trailer, because I know that when I go see Ant-Man and the Wasp this next week, the trailer is going to be there. Mm-hmm. You know, I just bought my tickets last night for Ant-Man as well as Cocaine Bear. So I'll be going to see.
Oh, yes, Rhea. After you said that in the last few streams, I went and Googled Yara Flora. Yes, I do too. She looks amazing. That character. Do you know Yara Flora?
I mean, I'm looking her up right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Now,
not just because of the way she looks, but because it's an interesting character. But yeah, she has a great look, great vibe, the character art. I definitely want to see that too. And you know, there's some great people in the community. There's some great cosplay of Nubia too, in the Wonder Woman staple, but I don't really know about her much. But she looks cool as well. But I don't think I think you're gonna be seeing a lot more of this actress. And hopefully she gets the conclusion as Ratcatcher too. See, James Gunn says she might be Wonder Woman. She might be. Yes, everyone loves her. See, let me see. Listen, James Gunn, it's not a competition. They're both beautiful people. There's a lot of beautiful people out there. And actually, Vin looks a little bit better than he did the last few years in this photo here. Looks like he's
well, he's lost because
track.
I mean, there was that photo of him smoking on a balcony, you know, and looking like
no, he looks better there though, right?
Yeah. He lost the weight, but it's I mean, well, did you hear today that they confirmed that Riddick 4 is going to be coming out? Furia. And that's been talked about for a decade
concept
now.
art. I don't know if that means they're actually moving. I hope it's moving forward. I like the Riddick. The only issue I have with the Riddick franchise is a lot of the movies are too similar. Just like Alien Covenant was too similar to one of the first Alien movies, you know.
Okay. So I mean, there's a you know, a theory about history repeating itself, you know, because time is cyclical essentially. But yeah, and stories are cyclical as well. Yes. So in Pitch Black, the concept of Pitch Black, and in Riddick, right, the 2013 movie, they're very similar themed, right? It's just Riddick alone on a planet up against enemies. The thing is, though, is they took the concept of Riddick and they expanded it greatly for Chronicles of Riddick in 2004. I love that goddamn movie, but it didn't nail as much as it didn't do as well as they wanted it to. And I don't know why. There's an unrated version of that movie that I think is a lot better. What?
Monkey Jeebus loves putting your face on things. Hey,
I would have sex with me on that one. Yeah, that look hot. I got moves. Look at that.
Monkey Jeebus, you have a lot of time on your hands, bro. I mean, it probably doesn't take long.
Yeah, and Ray there brings up the Riddick animated film. Dark Fury was pretty cool.
I didn't see that one.
It's only 30 minutes long. It's I actually, when I bought the Pitch Black 4K a couple years ago, it came with Dark Fury on there. And no, it's cool. It's from the guy who did Aeon Flux, Peter Chung.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool little, I think you could probably find the whole thing on YouTube. They also did Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay, which was the prequel story for how Riddick got his eye shine. And it like leads into like it's such a good game. Like not only is the game amazing, the story is goddamn awesome. Like if you're going to do anything with like, you know, an Riddick animated property, like animate the Escape from Butcher Bay, or even like, you know, give us something more, give us another game. Like they did a sequel, Darker Athena, I think is what it was called. But Butcher Bay was solid. And for 2003 graphics, it looked amazing back then. You know, like it was a really, really good game. Yeah, Peter Chung rules. Damn right.
Well, I have some stories that I didn't get through last night either, and I have them up tonight. This is actually exciting. If you haven't seen Spartacus, that's a great series. That was like before Game of Thrones and very similar, like not exactly, but had some similar aspects to the. And this actor, it's really a shame he passed.
I got to see him. I've seen all of Spartacus. I think Spartacus is an amazing show.
Or something, yeah.
Well, there was like Spartacus, and then there was like you had like each season had a different title, right? And
Tony.
they did the we'll go through it real quick. They did I will say this though. Spartacus season 1 is a bit hard to get through because it's so over the top. It's so 300 in the first half of that season, like the slow-mo, the blood, everything else. But as they start going through, it starts getting a lot better. And then, you know, by the time you get to season 3, where this is after Andy Whitfield had died, unfortunately, they got Liam McIntyre came in, took over the role. He did a good job.
He would have been a star too, I think.
He would have absolutely been a star. Because dude, when I saw him, because he got cancer. So they went and they shot the prequel season, which was the second season. And then from there he got better. And at Comic-Con, they had a panel for Spartacus, and he was I went to that panel. So he was there and he was like, I'm doing great. I'm doing good. We're excited to get back to work. And then it was like a couple months later, the cancer just came back and took him, you know? And that was like really sad. And so I'm glad that Starz stuck with Stephen S. DeKnight and allowed him to finish the show, because the show was good. Like it was solid characterizations, great acting. The season 3 finale of Spartacus, I won't spoil it, but I'll tell you, goddamn, they're like, goddamn, that good. And so I don't know what they're going to be doing with this one. Possibly Spartacus's kid. I don't know what they're going to do, but count me in. Yeah.
Yeah, that was before they made a lot of shows like this.
It was definitely back when Starz gave a fuck. Yeah. I think about creating content.
Disney's Plus's first ever Star Wars High Republic show revealed photos. Let me see.
I didn't know about this one.
Oh, Young Jet. Oh, that looks really cute. I thought someone made this I saw just this character without the, I didn't see the rope. They had just had his face on Twitter the other day. And I thought someone just created an AI character.
You know what? I hate to say it. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, but this is cute. I like this. Different animation style.
I think the ending of it, like the
young kids should not use lightsabers though.
I think the ending of this show, I saw something on Twitter about this, and it said something like the final episode is called like Order 66 or something, or maybe that.
No, that's a bad idea. Young Jedi Adventures and end the first season with Order 66. I like the look of this alien girl too, like the different. I haven't seen this style of alien before, or the one on the right. Interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Let me see. Ewan McGregor fought against one part of a Star Wars scene decision. I didn't read this article ahead of time, obviously. I wanted to see what he fought against. Let me see.
Let's see.
Many fans often reflect on the way the fight ended with Obi-Wan shouting, "It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground." That high ground has become as iconic as the scene itself, but that wasn't the original way Obi-Wan was set to cut off Anakin's limbs. The two characters actually preferred the alternate ending to what happened in the final cut. In an interview with Star Wars Theory, Star Wars prequel trilogy stunt coordinator Nick Gillard revealed how Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker actors Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen actually opposed the now iconic high ground scene at the end of the lightsaber duel on Mustafar. Oh, I love that. Gillard stated there was a version at the fight at the end that much differently than what was released in the final cut, and McGregor and Christensen tried to convince George Lucas that it was a better idea. Even the boys, Ewan and Hayden, went to George and said, "George, this," and he was having none of it. I want to know what they wanted to say, though.
I don't know.
Thought they did not like the high ground thing. We had it the high ground thing.
But like that became iconic.
Yeah.
Like that became super freaking iconic.
Yeah. Okay, but we had a different version of that where that didn't happen and Obi-Wan cut his arms and legs off in a different way. There was a version, the whole volcano thing, where they land on the droid wasn't there. Originally, they swung and landed. They swung off that great big boat, and they land on the side of the volcano on the lava right next to each other. And straight away, Anakin just disarmed him, grabbed him by the throat, and now he's got him, and Obi's saber is down on the ground, and Anakin says, "I'm sorry, it has to be this way, my master," and actually lets the lightsaber go. Obi-Wan hunches to get away from it, sucks his saber up. As he pulls the saber, he cuts through Anakin's arms almost by mistake, and then chops through his legs almost by mistake, and the whole body fell off his legs. Is more defense gone wrong kind of move. It was strong. What? That sounds awful. Like he actually cuts off his stuff by mistake, like he's trying to. That sounds awful.
That sounds like wanted. Yeah.
Thank God, people like the dog on George, but oh my.
Well, I think yeah, that's kind of the thing you got to remember here is that like this stuff is very much. How do I describe it? It's very much. Man, it's just. It's a collaborative process. People try out things, I mean, like even believe it or not, Zack Snyder, does a lot of that, right? Like what I mean by that is, like he was told, what was it? He was told, like don't shoot what the studio wanted, and he shot his own stuff also, like when he was doing the filming for Justice League. So,
well, yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen because I love the high ground. Yes, and people love saying that. Let's do some rapid fire. This became a weird stream. Like I was originally going to just go solo and just do a real quick one, but this is fun though. I always have fun. And I slept a long time, so I'm good.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Like, I'm staying away. It's like, I just was out driving and then my girlfriend's not feeling well and the kids were just like, they slept this afternoon and
I am going to be hashtagging on 214, not to get to that topic, but I am. Like, what's to lose? We already lost everything. Who cares?
Yeah. But don't you think though, at some point, like I don't mean this to like admit defeat sort of thing, but to acknowledge reality, right?
Well,
like
it's very unlikely, Matt, but it's like,
well, okay, let me ask you,
everything in your power to try.
Sure. But let me just ask you this. Okay.
Yeah.
What if, let's say by some miracle, like it happens, okay, whatever, right? What in your mind, what does that look like?
Well, I think even Saggy was on the other night, and she's like, well, maybe the animated would work. And I'm like, yeah, Zack Snyder doing an animated sequel where he might not need every single original actor, just finish the story that way, might be the most plausible. And I think a lot of people like to put a narrative on a lot of the Snyder fans, but a lot of them say, we'll get it whatever we can get at this point. Like they even said, that's our first goal is live action. If that doesn't work, we'll settle for animated. And I think animated, I think you could make a deal with Netflix for animated. And animated, Netflix does have some really good animated studios with like the ones that did Castlevania and with Zack Snyder's direction. I think that would be Zack Snyder's just is inevitable. Jarbo, live in the now.
Oh God, live in the now. Shut up,
live in
Nicotina.
the live in the now.
I saw that earlier on.
But I want to ask Nicotina. I'm going to put you on the spot, Nicotina. Are you going to hashtag on 214? I'm telling all of you out there, even if you don't like the people that created the hashtag, this is one that I actually can retweet without fire. I accidentally retweeted some Fire James Gunn because I like the memes in it without looking that they're also doing the hashtag, and I deleted them. But this is a hashtag I don't mind retweeting. And I think there's a lot of, oh, you're not. Okay, well, then you can't watch it if it happens. No, I'm just kidding, Nick. You can watch it. You and the Four Nerds definitely deserve it for doing Project Justice League and 100K views. I'm going to. I might do it all day. And then my friends are gonna like, oh, Max has so much cope. I'm like, why not? We lost everything anyway. Why not give it one final shot? Hail Mary.
Okay, so I see what you're saying there. So, can I be the bearer of bad news real quick?
Sure. You love
okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I do love that. Right. I do. I get off on that. So hold on. Let me just unzip my pants. No, I'm kidding.
Wait.
No, I'm kidding. So, okay. So I get what you're trying to say there. And I think, like if you didn't have, and I'm saying this as an overview, right? I don't mean you specifically.
I don't have any expectations. I'm just like, it's
no. It's not an expectation thing.
Even James Gunn said it's the weirdest thing, so he does not take it seriously. So who cares then if he's not?
Well, again, the way Sil responded yesterday was more or less like, James Gunn called him the N-word or something. Like, if you listen, did you listen to Sil's stream?
Yes,
did you listen?
did.
He was like, wacky. Was Fire James Gunn wacky? Like he was like it was.
I agree with that point. I agree with that point. That was more wacky than this is.
It's not. It's not.
Fire James Gunn is more wacky than Cell because I actually think that
Fire James Gunn is a disingenuously mean-spirited hashtag.
What I'm saying,
right? So why would he call it wacky? He wouldn't call it.
Let me explain though.
Okay. Okay.
You actually think about the possibilities of each thing happening. I think they're both shots in the dark. They're both like, nah. But selling Zack Snyder's Justice League, at least in some form, potentially animated, it's still a Hail Mary, even animated, is more likely than to fire James Gunn after he just was hired and made all these changes, and you can't reverse those changes. Fire James Gunn is never going to happen right when you just hired him. And he already said Cavill's out. The decisions are already made. What are you gonna? No one's gonna want to step in there after that. No one.
Well, the other thing you got to remember here too is that nobody wanted this job. Nobody wanted this job.
Right.
Nobody wanted to take over DC because of Snyder fans.
Right, and
I'm
not saying it wasn't a factor, Matt. I'm saying there's lots of reasons, but yes, that was a big factor.
Largely, no. Even when Dan Lin made fun of that on that podcast interview with the guy from Puck, right? Like he made fun of it, like because everyone in Hollywood Hollywood is not as big of a town as you think. Everyone knows what's going on. Okay, so it's like you have to look at this here from like again, just logical perspective, right? So nobody in Hollywood wanted the job. James and Peter were a good team to oversee it because they were probably given carte blanche to do what they wanted, which if you look at what we got in that slate, they kind of did, and they're experimenting with different things. The Creature Commandos thing, the Swamp thing, the Authority, which is obviously, yes, in response to The Boys, but The Boys beat out some, I think Marvel as like, even some Marvel shows as being the most watched. So it makes sense. And The Boys is ripping off Justice League anyway, and so it's like, it's smart it's very smart to pull from that, the Themyscira, that show where it's going to be, kind of Game of Thrones on Themyscira. That's interesting. You know, like it's going to give us another viewpoint of that, where we're going to be able to build off of that into some other characters. The goal with Peter Safran and James Gunn, and they've said this, is to take these like C-list, D-list characters and turn them into diamond characters. Very similarly to what James Gunn was able to do with characters like Peacemaker and the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so that's kind of the big factor. You know, the Superman thing is something that I think they wanted him to do. I think he was apprehensive to do it. And then in this particular time, it's like, they're like, no, well, you know, can you, sort of thing. And I think that he's doing them a favor by doing it, to be honest with you. But again, going back to the hashtag, right? Yes, there's nothing to lose. Yes, it's whatever.
Right, we already lost everything.
Sure. But let's say, okay. And again, this is as accurate as I can make it, but I need you to listen. I really, really need you to listen.
I'm listening.
Let's say it happens. Okay. So let's talk about the process. The process would be, Netflix would then like Reed Hastings. I think Reed Hastings is stepping down. So Ted Sarandos, right? Or whomever is in their acquisitions department would then want to contact DC Studios, because DC's not Warner Brothers Discovery, but DC Studios at this point, because DC Studios is now its own studio. It's its own company. So they are the ones who are holding the licensing rights for these characters. Okay. Now, and I mentioned this last night on my stream, and I think it's worthwhile pointing out. Remember the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies?
Yeah.
Okay. So those were produced through Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures and CBS are both companies owned by Viacom, but they were separate companies, meaning that when JJ's team was brought in to work on a new Star Trek movie, they had to, and this would be the overall production, from Paramount, had to go over to CBS and negotiate the rights to use Star Trek for a feature film. Never mind the fact that they're underneath the same umbrella of Viacom. They still had to negotiate between the two of them in order to make it work.
Oh,
so
I know, like the red tape is massive.
There's a ton of red tape.
Yeah,
so
I understand all that.
But again, let's say all that happens. Let's say all that happens, right? They figure out the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Like Zaslav's like, fuck it, let's go, or whatever. And Gunn's like, okay, fuck it, let's go. So now we get into a situation where they have to decide what projects they want to see made. So let's just say that it is in fact the Snyder cut. Like they want Justice League 2 and 3. Let's just say that's the case. Okay, cool. Right. Everyone's on board. You get Zach to come off of Rebel Moon or whatever it is. You work the contracts, bring everybody back, except there's a problem with that. Now this production is not under Netflix, because Netflix is not paying. They're paying to distribute the movie. They're paying to fund the movie, but the production of it would still be into licensing.
Yeah,
so the production would still be handled by DC Studios.
Oh yeah. And then Netflix agreeing to those terms would be really unlikely.
It would be insane. It would just be kind of weird. So let's say, okay, fine. They get through all that. Like, James Gunn, Peter Safran want to help oversee this. They bring in Zack Snyder. They have a set budget. They have to then, work with Zach to bring in a writer.
Can I tell you something, Matt? I don't want to interrupt you, but I think you're wasting effort to try to convince me when I'm already convinced it's highly unlikely.
But I mean, here's the thing. It's not even highly unlikely. It's impossible. It is. And I know that sounds finite. Not everybody wants to hear finite, but it is finite, because the studio was recently formed in order to create, a continuous universe. By splintering it off and doing all that, it goes against the ethos of why they were just created back in November.
I know.
So the idea here, and this is the thing too, and this is the biggest problem, is it's the goalpost moving, it's the echo chamber, it's the coping, and it's not healthy for someone's mental state. It's just not.
I'm not holding up hope.
I'm not saying you are, but if you look at someone like Batdan, and you know who Batdan is.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Yeah, sure, he's a nice guy. Yeah, nothing against Batdan, right? Yeah. Nothing against him. But when he goes, fuck it, I have been single for 28 and a half years, fuck Valentine's Day, and I'm going to sit there and tweet about this. Doesn't that sit there and go like, this is a person that's a cry for help, in my opinion. It's like, I've been single for all this time. I'm not even going to attempt to find companionship. I'm going to throw all of my eggs in this basket.
On Twitter. I'm not going to criticize them, Matt. There's a lot of lonely people out there.
There are a lot of lonely people.
Obviously found community.
But
in the group, yeah.
Sure. But do you think though that maybe like perpetuating this myth that something can happen is
I would-
detrimental to
the
their mental
one-
health?
The one criticism I would like to say to Soul Nation is that they need to. I know they still say no one ever promised you this was going to happen. They need to stress more to keep your expectations, but they obviously get a lot from the buzz of just pump, keeping up. So as much as I could say, don't expect anything for this. I have nothing else to lose. It's already gone. James Gunn, if you believe his words, actually what he's saying, that he thinks it's wacky. So there's nothing to sweat about. Like, I don't care. Like, you don't have to convince me. I understand. Okay, that I don't even want to think of. Honestly, could I be real? Like, all that situation, I agree with you, but I don't really want to think about it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. 214. If it trends and then Netflix never even responds, yeah, and which they're probably not going to say anything. I doubt they'll say anything, But I actually think I think a lot of people are going to be tweeting on Tuesday, and
I think that they
get it out because you know what else I did today, Matt? I started to watch the Snyder Cut again, and you know why? The only reason I haven't watched it because it hurts. That's the only reason I haven't. I used to watch it a lot when it first came out, and then I stopped watching it because it actually hurts to know that you're not going to see this continue. It hurts, and then when I was rewatching it, it's just like, damn, this is good. Damn, this is good. It's so good. It is ahead of its time, and it really is one of the best superhero projects ever. And that's honestly, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm at the point where I don't care. Nothing to lose, whatever. That's what I'm going to do Tuesday.
I get that. I mean, I get the concept of nothing to lose, but I also posit a response. Nothing to lose, but nothing to gain. If you are engaging in something that is not going to move the needle, and you are effectively helping other people who have become very disillusioned by this. And we're talking like severe mental health problems, and it's like, look,
we can have mental health problems. Why do you want to make fun of them so much?
I'm really making fun of 2 or 3 of them because of the continuous dumb shit that they say. Really. But the fact that you're watching this, because I watched Sill's response yesterday, I was legitimately interested in what he had to say. And when he starts trying to when James from Small Screen, who also I believe is or was the CTO of Geekosity Mag, he came in the chat and he asked him, he's like, well, was Gunn aware of the other hashtags? And Sill started snapping at him over that, right? Because any kind of question being asked about, what's the narrative Sill was pushing to his audience was met immediately with anger. And if you listen to that segment as it goes on, he gets angrier and angrier to the point of where his voice starts raising octaves. It's high pitched. He's clearly frustrated. He keeps repeating wacky as if it's the worst thing ever said to him, when it's just like, well, that's a wacky thing to say, right? It was such a non-starter of a controversy that you listen and you're like, oh my God.
Well, I do see the movement taking it very personal.
But don't you think though, at them taking at taking that level of fucking personal that's a problem, right? Because it's been nonstop L's really since March 2021. Ever since the movie came out, it's been nonstop L's. So 2 years. The only positive was Henry's cameo at the end of fucking of Black Adam, but even that was snatched away quickly. So it's been nonstop L's with rampant goalposts moving and appeals to emotion from people who are so desperate to make this thing a reality that it's like they've forgotten, in my opinion, what even being a fan is all about. This isn't about winning anymore with them, Max. This is about being right. Is really what it boils down to. This is about faith being rewarded. That's what it is. It's almost religious fanaticism.
I
you're kind of
understand.
adding to that.
No, I do think there's a small chance that animated might, something like that.
You know who would do
maybe.
the animation though? Warner Animation Group. They would do the animation.
That would be good. That would be fire.
Well, that's whoever's whatever.
Hey, I invited Tim a long time ago. I didn't know Tim was. Hey, Tim,
Dude, sorry, man. I fell asleep, man. No, I'm.
Oh,
with
really?
Jarbo.
Don't do that. That's very unprofessional. I'm just kidding.
No,
I do that all the time.
My bad.
I sleep in the afternoon. That's what I do.
I know. Like I was defending Gotham, and then once I got home, I took out the bad guys, Mr. Freeze. He seemed pretty chill, and then I was just like, dude, I'm out. But I was like, yeah. I was checking I woke up. It's like, oh my gosh, I got a message, and we talked about coming on. So it's like, I feel like this is a conversation we should have had, a long time ago. I'm actually with Jarbo on that one. It does seem pretty tiresome, right? They're moving the goalposts as far as Henry Cavill. Yes, do I love Henry Cavill? Do I love a Man of Steel? But then again, it's like, when is the point where we need to move on, right? And I like some of the designs, but they announce all these announcements, but there's only 2 films or 2 projects that are actually confirmed, right? So it's just like, are we going to go into one of those other phases where it's not going to be consistent and they have a plan? So the presentation to me, what are we talking about? Star Wars, or are we talking about the James Gunn stuff? I see Max in the background.
Tim, I think you might have missed a little context. We're talking about the fan group, the Zack Snyders that was always trying to restore everything. So the new hashtag, have you heard the new hashtag is sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to
Netflix? Yep.
Yeah. And that Matt is like, maybe we need to move on. And I said, my take is I don't have anything to lose. I'm going to participate in the hashtag it's going to be on 214. And he's like, you're enabling these people that have a little compromised mentally with their love of this. And it's just not going to happen. We shouldn't lead them along. I never told. I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's a small chance it might get some really good attention. They might consider something. They might have a talk. Even if they have a talk, they're like, we're not going to agree on things, But Matt's more on the angle where you guys need to let this go. You shouldn't. You should encourage other people to do this.
Here's why I say this. And again, going back to to what Sil was saying, because you got to look at it like this, right? It doesn't matter what Skywalker says. It doesn't matter what the Savage Bat says or Bat or whatever. None of those guys. It doesn't matter what they say. It only matters what Sil says, because Sil is their leader. Sil and Mikey. Sil and Mikey are the leaders. So whatever bullshit they want to feed them is what they're going to believe. And so if you really listen to what Sil was saying yesterday, he's like, because James goes, Netflix and we've talked, but they've showed no interest in this. And then you're like, okay, well, what was that about? Like, well, Sil's like, when was that? Like Occam's razor tells you, clearly Sandman played a part in that, and also probably ending of the relationship over The Flash and the other shows, because that still is airing over there and they do oversee DC television. So there's a lot going on with that. And then he talks about how he spoke with Zach and how Zach reached out to him to talk about to commend him on his choices or congratulate him on his choices. That was last week. So Sil keeps going, when did they talk? When did they talk? When did they talk? He keeps hammering this detail while he's got the tweet from Gunn up there saying Zach reached out to say, hey, congratulations on my choices. And that is in reference to what came out a week ago, giving us a time frame. And it's that complete willingness to ignore what's right in front of you in order to create this grand conspiratorial narrative. That's what I'm talking about. It's like you can literally listen to what they say, and it's like evidence is right there in front of them, and it's like they don't want to acknowledge a word of it because it damages their ego. And that's what this. So when you support something like this, you are supporting this mental degradation that they are going through. No, really, I know that sounds fucked up, but it's true. It's like it'd be best for you. If you really want to help, it'd be best for you to not say anything, really.
Well, the reason that I want to support it now, I know people have had issues with how they've talked about you and some of my friends, and I've had issues how you. About me. No, RJ Saggy, but I also have issues of how you guys have talked about them. And they're actually saying we want to stay positive. And when I hear Sil say, let's not talk about the party stuff. And yeah, everyone slips up on the live stream because they can't help themselves. Like El Necron. I like El Necron, but he can't help himself. He always does a little joke in there. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Not cool, not cool. But whatever.
Yeah, to keep it face value, or right, like what Jar was talking, is like the whole Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the recasting of that stuff. Do I agree with the recasting? I was 100% for that, but then at this time, I'm just like let's kind of move on with it and let's see what we get. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. That dude was born to play Superman. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them in those films. Weren't each hitting $1 billion, right? And which that's kind of the benchmark. So we got to kind of look at that. And I get like the fact he's saying that, we got to move on eventually. If you entertain the fact that they want this, how are we ever supposed to move forward, right? Like, because like the new project James Gunn's pointing out as the head leader, people are always going to compare it to that. What if? The
Supreme Leader.
So, yeah, Supreme Leader, right? Like Kylo Ren says, all right, I'll come into character. You keep holding on. Let go. Kill if you have to, right? I'll quote that. I know the sequel trilogy is not the most favorable or whatever, but I do like The Force Awakens. I'll say it. I like The Force Awakens. So with that being said, I try to look at it as like a more neutral perspective. Some of the announcements as far as James Gunn, we covered on my channel. Some of the things I'm like, what are they doing? A lot of these characters are unknown, but I've heard Robert Meyer Burnett kind of talk about it. I was like, with Authority and Legacy Superman, I can kind of see what they're doing because he better explain. Because I'm not gonna act like I'm, a hardcore comic book fan, right? So, I can see it from both perspectives, right? I'm trying to be neutral on that, but I
pick my side, Supreme Leader. No,
no, but I want to see DC. Like, look, I'll say a statement right here. DC stories are better than MCU. I'm a DC fan over MCU. DC does it better in animated, but MCU has been killing it lately in the live action, right? And I love the Dark Knight stuff. I felt like that set the stage on how like high quality superhero films could be. So. I'm just waiting for DC to like step up the bar. Like Ben Affleck was a perfect to me as Bruce Wayne and Batman. And Henry Cavill's
George
good.
Clooney's back, Tim. George Clooney.
Batnips, man. Just kidding. No, he was good as a Bruce Wayne though. He was good as Bruce Wayne, but he wasn't very like the best Batman. So I don't know.
I have to get this to us for a friend because Tony is really going to lose his mind. I don't know how much more Matt wants to stay on too because we've been at it for a while.
No, I'm just waiting. My girlfriend's not feeling well, so I'm just kind of waiting up in case the kids wake up.
So this is a review. Ethan Van Sciver, Tim? He's
no,
a YouTuber,
man.
Comic artist pro. It's probably best you don't know him, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. He's an independent. He used to work at DC. Now he's doing independent comics. He's doing the whole, like, I don't know if you know Ripa, Young Ripa. Doing
yeah, I know him, man.
Okay, so yeah, he's doing his own comics. He's got a comic called Cyberfrog, and our pal of the channel Tony got a review copy yesterday. Now, right away, I'm thinking that Tony's gonna like it. What do you think, Matt? I think he's gonna have issues with some typos and stuff.
Yeah. I heard him last night. A couple of little things here and there, but ultimately, I don't feel that he's gonna dislike it.
Okay, so let's watch a little bit of his review here. Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony, TGD. And today we're going to be reviewing Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet. That's right, the as of yet released, being shipped as we speak, second comic from EBS, second crowdfunding comic. It's not the second comic. The guy has made lots of comics in his day. But this is the sequel to Cyberfrog, the project that was crowdfunded for over $1 million.
Let's be real. He picked Tony because he's got a frog icon too. think that's part of the reason. He's like, yeah, Tony, I like your icon. I actually didn't put 2 and 2 together last night, Matt. I was like, oh yeah, he does have a frog icon.
He looks like he's off of Star Fox. I don't know anyone played that
Oh
game.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love Star Fox.
Oh, what,
Yeah.
Skippy
This
or
one also
whatever?
Yeah, Skippy,
$1
but
million.
with the crown, right?
Yeah,
It has been 2 years in the making.
Slippy.
And it's finally on its way to be released. I was able to get a review copy. I talked to EBS on a stream I was on last night. Mad Max Movie Entertainment. Ethan Van Sciver was on the stream. We were talking about some things. The topic of Cyberfrog came up. I mentioned that I never actually read a Cyberfrog comic and that I need to do that at some point. And he offered me a review copy of Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet. So I said, yes, I'll definitely check this out because I'm interested in it. I've heard about comic skates. I'm not really into the whole comic skate sphere. I'm not really familiar with all of EBS's work. I've heard the name. Everyone's heard the name thrown around. If you're on YouTube, he's one of those people that you hear about, but not necessarily know. Now, like I said, I have never read a single Cyberfrog comic. I not know anything about it. I don't know anything about the character.
You know Devin, the old Nerdcast, Matt?
Yeah.
He had the old school Cyberfrog from the 90s, and he was a fan back then.
Wow.
And now he knows how EVS is now, and he's like, I can't stand him. You never would have known. Okay.
The comic, the world, the lore, none of that. I was going into Cyberfrog 2 completely blind. Okay. Now, with that out of the way, I will say that I am not going to show you much of the comic. You know, when EVS gave me, he said, hey, don't show everything, be limited. So I took 3 screenshots of the comic.
I might speed you up a little bit.
Just 3 sections. It's not entire pages, it's just 3 sections of pages. And I'm going to show those so you get a little feel for the comic, get a little taste.
Is that too fast?
It's not going to be the whole thing. You don't get the full mind.
No, I can hear
I'm
it.
going to talk about. I'm giving you my opinion on Cyberfrog 2. So now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about the comic. First off, the art in Cyberfrog is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Wow, yeah.
I love the character design. I love the way the people are drawn. The Vespers, I think that's how they pronounce it. The little murder hornets. I love how Cyberfrog is shiny, and you can see things reflected in different parts of his armor. As you can see in this image, off his shoulder, you can see some of the murder hornets. Off of some of the parts of his foot, you can see reflections. And I love that. I love the little attention to detail in all of this. Now, the general story overview of this is, so we're following up from the previous Cyberfrog book, which I didn't read. And we're dropped into this world. I guess it's about 20 years later. Cyberfrog has just woken up and he's tracking down Heather. And he finds her in a small community where she has a daughter. Now, when he finds her, he gets attacked by some hornets. He takes it out. Heather's like, hey, let me take you to the community, heal up. Boom. As soon as he shows up, he gets shot by the leader of the community. Now, he has to heal up, get acquainted with the community, sort of be friends with them so they can kind of get used to him. He wants to protect humans, and eventually he wants to go out and fight the Vespers because he doesn't feel like hiding is the best strategy. These survivors, they're just trying to survive. They're not trying to take the planet back. They're not trying to get rid of the Vespers. They're not trying to fix anything. They're just simply trying to survive. And Cyberfrog, that's not his deal. He wants to protect these people, and the best way he can protect them is to destroy the threats. That's his mission. That's his goal. And we get this dichotomy between these two groups. Now, of course, Heather is eventually told, hey, she has to go away. It's her turn to go and search for food, search for supplies. So she goes out, and in that interim, the crazy community leader, he convinces one of the followers to go to Heather's daughter, Lily, and sort of trick her into leaving. Say, hey, that dad that you've been looking for, you need to find him. You're hanging out too much with Cyberfrog. You need to go find your dad. You're kind of replacing him. She's like, yeah, you're right. So she goes off and takes off. It's all part of his plan to get rid of Cyberfrog. So Cyberfrog has to leave and go after Lily. And he does. And eventually, he runs into a whole group of Vespers. There's a nice action sequence. He gets his ass handed to him despite his best efforts. And that's how we leave the comic. We leave the comic with Cyberfrog beaten up, hanging on to life. And Heather and Lily are there. And, Lily gets taken by the Vespers. Heather's there, emotional, trying to, tell Cyberfrog's going to be okay.
He's telling the end of the comic?
Yeah, it's not, he sounds like he's spoiling
I
the
know,
comic, and I
yeah.
didn't hear the word spoiler in all of that fast-paced jibber jabber.
I like the review though, Tony, but I'm like, I was trying to be, I was like, I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, okay. But so far he's been getting a good review though. All right, let's see what else he has to say here. I don't know if that was the exact end of the comic or
tease of what might come in the next issue. I'm not going to spoil it. Again, I'm trying not to spoil any of this. So, if you're like, oh my God, what details are not really being very detailed. Like I said, I'm trying not to spoil. I'm trying to be respectful of the medium, respectful of EBS, the fact that people are going to read this, they want to read it fresh.
Be respectful, spoil everything.
There are several
well.
If you're not familiar with the world of Cyberfrog, if you didn't read the previous Cyberfrog,
I haven't read Cyberfrog.
They just sort of show up. Scorpion and Spite, they sort of show up. There's no real explanation of who they are, why they're there, why they hate Cyberfrog, why they now, they do kind of explain why they're trying to help him. Because obviously, even though they hate Cyberfrog, the Vespers is the bigger threat, right? So they're going to try to use Cyberfrog to get rid of the Vespers, and then they're going to go back to trying to kill Cyberfrog. But like I said, there's no real explanation as to who they are. They do a good job establishing what's going on. If you're not familiar with Cyberfrog, you're not going to really know what he can do, what his abilities are. That's probably explained more in previous issue. But here, you just kind of like accept it, move along. It doesn't really explain who. He says he's offline, but I guess he's supposed to be connected to some computer network. Again, if you haven't read the previous issue, you might be, out of the loop on that. I was. It doesn't make the comic unreadable. It doesn't make the comic unable to be followed. But it's just one of those like nagging things in your mind. You're like, I don't exactly understand. I get it, but I don't exactly get all the details of it.
Okay.
But other than that, if you've read the previous issue,
thanks,
I'm sure you're gonna have no problem with this. It's gonna be something that you enjoy. Like I said, I love the art. The story was well paced. The dialogue, some of it was a little iffy. Cyberfrog has this 90s sort of vibe to him that's kind of clashing with the.
I like that though. That's a plus for me.
Sort of living in the now.
I love that.
So sometimes
that's actually what I mean. I'm not gonna be the one that says Cyberfrog isn't similar to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love that vibe. That's great. That's a selling point for me. What do you think, Tim? I love that it's kind of got a 90s feel.
Yeah, no. Somehow it harkens back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
I love that feel. As far as like the newer age of the TMNT, whatever, I don't really like that. So, giving me that
90s era.
That vibe and that feel of being like more organic, like as far as like not being so CGI. That's what I get with those films. Maybe that's not this, right? But that's kind of what I'm like visualizing right now.
What do you think about Matt about this 90s aesthetic of Cyberfrog, like the 90s era? There are similarities to TMNT. I'm not going to lie for Ethan. It was created at the same time.
Yeah, I think people have called it a TMNT ripoff. They've called it a Battletoads ripoff.
That was very much in the way that was that back then. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. Like
that's how he got into DC. Is he started this first? I think.
I think there's good. Good. I think there's a need for unique, independent stories, right? And I don't think that's a big problem. Like I'll say this, World Class Bullshitters had that one idea, stealing Solo.
It was a good idea.
Great idea, great concept, great. Like kind of felt
execution.
Well, yeah, that's what we're here to talk about essentially, right? Is the execution. So, and the way that, Tony talked about the story sounds interesting. So I think, but again, like the execution of the comic, he had pointed out a couple flubs that he had found, a couple little things, that he had questioned EVS about last night. And, and I think those are always good. Those little details to call out, to get better for down the road. But I think, didn't EVS take like 2 years to get this thing out or something like that? Or it took
Hey, William, contact me about that 90s Cyberfrog. I might send you a PayPal if you want to sell it to me, because I think those go. I'll contact me about it if you have it still. There's a few significant details I left out when you read the book. You really don't think I spoiled anything? Okay, I'll trust you, man. All right, let's finish this up here.
I was just giving more of a hard time. But yeah,
I know why. I know why you're giving a hard.
No. But the truth is, it is actually very difficult to kind of talk about something and to not go in to spoiler territory. Like I don't watch like non-spoiler reviews. I might watch like out of the theater reactions or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the kind that's very quick. But like if you sit somebody down and you're like, tell me about a movie, but don't tell me anything specific about the movie, but make it like over 5 minutes long, they're going to end up like spoiling something, because it's like your brain starts looking through what you've already watched and you want to talk about that. And then, to you, it's not a spoiler, but to someone else, it might be. It's very difficult. So I can understand that.
Mm-hmm. And we still
Yeah,
have to hear what it's about because he can't show images too. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to bring up. As far as like they're only using the same images, like you can be a lot more descriptive. But then, like, we're defining as what is spoiler and is not. And to me, like, it would have made this presentation far more interesting if they would have changed a little bit, at least change a couple images, right? And it'd be a little bit more compelling to me, at least me, right? So, yeah.
All right, let's finish this out here, Tony. Good job so far.
Like home skillet, and you're like, ooh, it's a little outdated, but I mean, it makes sense for the character that he would say outdated phrases and stuff.
Here's the next
I
image.
can't speak enough about the art because it is beautiful, beautiful. I love the way the boxing is, the little thought boxes. I love the way that Cyberfrog himself talks in a different colored balloon. His balloon is a different color, so when he's talking, it gives a unique feel to the character, a unique voice to Cyberfrog. If I had a major complaint about this comic, it would be that it doesn't feel like a complete story. This is great. I'm interested in the world. I want more. But the problem is that it's going to be continued in the next book. And we don't know how long it's going to be until that book drops, right? It took like 2 years for this book. So if it takes another 2 years, like I don't want to wait 2 years to get the next part of the story, right? This feels like almost a weekly comic. And that, the next issue should be right around the corner. It's not. And I think that's a detriment to the story.
Wow, good point.
If it was a more complete story, if it was a more
listen, that's why I told him to go to Tony. He's going to tell him like it is. This is great. This is fun. This is exciting. But waiting like 3 years for different issues it's still, no matter how good a comic is, that's still an issue that EVS is going to have. Do you agree, Matt? Like that, waiting that long.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is like this is the big problem with like Kickstarter games and even crowdfunded anything, right? It's like if you have an idea and you want to, I mean, the thing is like with EVS, it's he's a professional, so he knows what it takes. Other Comicsgate stuff hasn't quite had that level of I guess you could say quality. But if you look at even like Rippa, Rippa's artwork is pretty banal, you know what I mean? It's relative, it's milk.
Oh, this is way better. Yeah.
Oh no, cyber, yeah, way better stuff there. But it's like you look at like Isom, and Isom, from everything I've seen, it just looks like stale. You could probably get better art design again using Midjourney to AI or whatever, and make it look better than what it was they were going for. But what you have to understand is like in the case of like, so the way I view it when it comes to like the selling of this product again is like, and I think you said it last night, even, it's like Ethan will get more controversial when he's gearing up for another fundraiser.
He played that down. I was like,
he downplayed a couple things last night that would come up.
Like, all right.
And but like, no, but I think that's relatively true. Like if you need to start, getting that kind of that attention on you again, say something that's going to probably get you canceled. And on the right, that will give you a lot of money. That will be, so if you're going to have a fundraiser coming out for a new product, go on Twitter and call somebody the N-word, and you're like, oh, it was free speech. I'm not saying he would do that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If Ethan is listening to this, I'm not saying he would do that. I'm using it as a very hyperbolic example.
I know.
Very sarcastic. But it's what everyone, but basically it's like that. But then again, if you've been following any of the Twitter hearings out of Capitol Hill, right wingers have a lot of sway over at Twitter. That being said, I think, they need to get this done faster, right? It's like if I were to,
well, to be honest though, the people are buying his stuff for the actual product itself too, where I think Rippa is just all, I'm not hating on Rippa, Tim. I know you said you're acquainted with Rippa too, but I think more of his success is based on his also personality, and that you want to support him. Based on the actual quality of the product. I'm not saying it's a bad product. I'm just saying for this, I think it's more on the quality. But if he just focused on the quality and only did comics, he wouldn't be making as much money either, though, Matt. Because you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go finish, man.
But if he did what would make more sense for the story and just work only on the story and do less live streams and less controversial, Matt, he wouldn't be making this money.
Well, the thing is, Ethan is in a place where he is far further along in his career than everybody else in regards to Comicsgate, essentially, outside of maybe a couple, that have been around for a while. Like he was also, I think, at the beginning hanging out a lot with Vox Day, who is pretty much a white supremacist. So it's like, and that guy's nuts. And I remember that dude. I remember that guy from the Gamergate days. He was fucking insane. Like nobody liked him. Like, oh, great, another crazy. But a fair amount of this stuff boils down to the fact that, he's gotta get this shit out faster. And but then if his audience doesn't care, then his audience doesn't care. The question then becomes, can he find more people to come on in?
I think that the debacle here is season 2, right? For like issue 2 of this comics, or for Ripa's comics, right? Ripa had that built-in audience, but like, are they going to support him on the second one, or is this audience going to support on that? And then I would argue the fact that, like, yeah, this artwork looks terrific, whatever. Maybe Ripa's is not as complex or detailed, but like, then again, if you look at animation, there is simplistic art that just sells. Like SpongeBob, like, just sells. And we look at like older 90s stuff. We love that stuff. We love retro gaming with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you can have that kind of, niche or whatever. I'm not saying that, which maybe it's harder for a young and up and comer person to break into the market, but I feel like you can't like just say that's not going to be a factor, right? Like if someone has a unique artwork that catches the mind, like, this is simplistic. Like look at like video games, right? What's that? The Lego knockoff, right? You have Legos, then we have the whole what I'm talking about, Mad Max or Jarbo, like Blocks. What is that?
Roblox.
Roblox, dude. That game, horrible graphics, bro. But like, that is all the young kids love it, man. Why? So,
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, let's finish Tony's review, because it's. Oh, I've been going 2 hours already. Hold on.
Complete tale, like a standalone type thing for the 70 pages. I think it would be a better experience. Like I said, or if the next comic was right around the corner, right? And you're like, oh yeah, the next one's going to drop next month or 2 months from now, would even be an acceptable pace. But having to wait years for the next part of the story, it's almost like I would rather wait until EBS was just completely done with the story and then pick it all up, all at once, all the parts, however many it ends up being. I think that's my one major complaint. Like I said, it is a good story. It's well told, well paced. Art's beautiful. Characters are great. I know the motivations of the characters. I know who they are, what they say. They never feel like they're just doing things because the plot demands it. It actually feels organic to each of the characters.
That's good.
There are subtle storytelling things in the book that you don't get right away, right? If you read the book and you're going to be like, oh my God, this doesn't make sense. Why are they doing X? Or why are they doing Y? And then later on in the book, when you get a revelation, then it starts making sense. You're like, oh, that makes sense why that happened earlier. That makes sense why it was like that. And one of those things, I could probably spoil it. One of those things is Lily shows up and she's red looking, right? And I didn't get it. I didn't get that her face. Why? Like I was like, this is a weird lighting choice that her face is like red. But then later on, they show her actually applying red makeup. Now we know that red, you have to wear red in order to hide from the Vespers. But I didn't realize until later on that Lily took it to the extreme that she actually paints her face and her body with red makeup in order to hide herself from the Vespers. So then when you see her like this, like, oh, was it a weird coloring thing? Why was she kind of red when they first introduced her in the book? And then later on, you're like, oh, that's why, because she's covering herself in red makeup. It makes sense now. Now it makes sense to my brain. And there's other things. There's a couple other things in there. When you hear it, when you see it, you're like, oh, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then it will. I know there's some previews out there. Some people have talked about this before. They said some things about, like, it doesn't make sense. Why did this happen? Or why did that happen? Trust me, it all makes sense. Everything makes sense when you read the entire comic. When you read the entire book, certain things that you might have an issue with starts to make sense.
Okay.
And that's all I can really say without spoiling it. It is a great book. I would definitely pick it. If this was on the shelf at my local comic shop, I would definitely pick it up. If this was available weekly, if there was, like I said, if there was a subscription and I was going to get one every week, every month, bi-monthly, I'd definitely be subscribed. This is a great comic. I want to know more. And again, I think my biggest complaint is I'm not going to be able to get the next issue of Cyberfrog for a while, right? And I guess that's a good problem to have if you're EBS people, leaving people wanting more, leaving people with this sense of that they need another issue, they want to buy another issue. I guess that's a great problem to have for him. It's kind of a bad problem for me because I do want more and I do want to read more. I'm interested in the character, in the world, in the lore, and it just isn't anything, right? If I had to give this a number score, definitely a 9 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10. It's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece. There is, if I want to nitpick, I want to be real nitpicky, and I did tell this to EBS on stream. There is one spacing issue with one of his word bubbles. Right, there's a weird spacing issue, and then there's a weird sort of leg drawn. And Cyberfrog kicks one of the Murder Hornet's head. He's got like a weird angle to his leg. Other than that, everything in here is beautiful. Art's beautiful. Story's well paced. I can't say enough good things about this comic. I want more. Ethan, work faster. That's all I can say. Work faster. I want the next issue. I want to see what's going to happen. And I'm definitely going to pick up the previous issue because now I'm interested in the story. I'm interested in this comic. I love it. I want more of it.
Oh, cool.
Let me know when you get the comic. Let me know your thoughts when you see it. Let me know what you think. Do you like the art? Are you interested in Cyberfrog? Are you going to get Cyberfrog? Did you already order it? Are you waiting on it? I know there's probably some people that are probably upset about how long it took. There might be some people upset about the things Ethan says or the things Ethan does. None of that's concerned to me, right? All I'm concerned about is whether or not the comic was good, and the comic was good. Was it worth the wait? I can't say because I didn't wait. I basically was like, hey, I'd love to read this. And he's like, here it is. Right? My wait was all of 15 seconds. Other people had to wait a long time.
Yeah, years.
I understand your frustration. But like I said, for me, it's a great comic, great read. If you get a chance to pick it up, I highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm going to probably go back and buy the previous issue and any other supplementary issues that there are. Because from my understanding, there is like some in-between comic based on Heather, and then he's making like a spin-off of one of the other characters. So I'm on board. I'm a Cyberfrog fan thanks to this comic. Well, that's all I got to say about this. Let me know your thoughts on comics. Love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.
All right, that's a great review. I'm glad to hear you like. I think he's being honest, Matt. I don't think he would just tell us. He's actually interested in it now. But that is, I'll be real. That's where I lost interest too, Matt. When I back in the day when I was thinking about ordering Cyberfrog, I'm like, this take too, I just gave up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a certain thing to be said. Oh yeah, no, you can bring that up. You can bring that up. So I actually just while he was talking, talking about the artwork, I just went into Midjourney. It said Ethan Van Sciver Cyberfrog, realistic.
That looks badass, Ethan.
And
he said that to me. He hates the AI.
And I again that like just came up in a second. Like it's the point I'm trying to make by this is like if you use technology, and Ethan's an old school guy, so he's not going to do this, like just to be completely honest. But it's like, using this kind of stuff as a way to expedite the process. But then again, it's like this is where you run into the time, money, and quality triangle that creatives often have to deal with. And that is
I don't know if that's the same Tony Robinson that's been a subscriber a long time, but don't spam, please. And then I think you changed your icon to a booty. Yeah, I'm gonna put you in a timeout. I don't think you. Tony Robinson's been coming here for years, and he never did anything like that. So I have no idea what that.
Ryan says, "What comic runs out weekly? None of them do. It takes time, right? And no one is suggesting that EVS get this thing out in like every week. I mean, he could, if he had the foresight.
Once a year would be nice.
Once a year would be nice. Yeah. Once, I think realistically, plotting this thing out, if you have a story you want to tell, having it be every quarter or something. And I'm not even saying once a month, because that does also take a team of people. When he said weekly, he meant bi-weekly. Yeah. Every 2 weeks. That would be, bi-monthly. How about bi-monthly? Right. I think that might even be something that, he could potentially do, but having it just be, or even just being once a quarter, once every 3 months, get something out. I just feel like if you're asking your people to invest into a world, don't set them on this and they go, all right, well, we'll see you guys in, 6 years, like for the next one. Cause people move on and you're not going to make the same kind of money you're going to make if you don't have that momentum.
But you got to send me this picture so I could trigger Ethan. Because that looks pretty badass.
Yeah. That's, that was.
I would want to see this movie. That's a good realistic interpretation. This is one of the best AI I've seen.
You can also here's the full image right there. And this was the prompt. I just said Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog realistic color for 4K. It was just a little thing. That's all.
Please send that to me. I like that.
But here's the parent image. Right here. I think even actually the one up here on the top right. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
I also want to beat them up like TMNT beat them ups with Cyberfrog. That would be amazing.
You could easily do that kind of stuff as well. I think that would be doable to to kind of get that content out there in a way. So work with, again, indie devs are always a thing, right? You could always find like an indie Unreal Engine 5. People are able to make stuff in that pretty quickly now. there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be, again, all this stuff in the next 10 years is going to be very, very, very streamlined for a lot of people.
Are you afraid of AI, Tim?
Run. No, you know what? My mind just like is sparking. You ever seen that scene in like Men in Black where they open up the locker room and they go to like this whole another universe? This is like if like the frogs were in their own little pocket universe and living in their environment, then they're living amongst the humans, but these are different type of frogs and they kind of evolve or something like that. And then it comes something greater. I don't know. That's just kind of what was going on in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, this is brilliant. Now I'm intrigued, dude. I like the dynamic and I like the look of these characters, of these frog people. It's just like, so are they, what universe are they in? Is it like everyone is like a frog people and that's kind of what's going on?
I think they're like rare, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't think there's many cyber frogs. There might be more murder hornets.
Yeah, so they live within
villains.
the scope of humans, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Luther. Did you ever see Luther, Matt?
Yeah, I saw the first season of the show.
I keep wondering if I should check it out. It's getting a movie. Idris Elba. Netflix, March 10th, coming out soon.
Yeah. I think there's oh god, what is it? Like there's a show, the series is really good. The series is really good. And then I need to see the further seasons, and then they got the movie because they brought it back a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, I never did. You ever check it out, Tim? Luther with Idris Elba? That series?
No, to be honest, like I love Idris Elba. I love his voice. What did he voice Scar? But like after seeing what was the first one?
No, that was Chiwetel Ejiofor voice Scar.
Okay. So he all right. So he was in the Pacific Rim, right? His English was not the best for me. I was like, no, this dude has a star quality, but I couldn't really understand his English, to be honest. I love that movie. The Hans Zimmer score was amazing. I'm actually a big fan of the first one. The second film, he wasn't in it. But then after that, I was like, okay. I watched more of his film. I was like, no, I really like Idris Elba. I was like, I would probably, if he was younger, I'd be like, yo, he has that kind of James Bond vibe. To be honest, he does. But you know, you want to start with a younger James Bond. But I know I'm getting on a tangent there. But yeah.
No, I lots of people wanted him as James Bond. I think people still do, but he is older now. Have you heard about this Air trailer, Matt?
Oh, dude,
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Oh my god!
I just
Nike
haven't.
Air?
Yeah. Oh, here I wanted to show you this real quick.
Okay.
I upscaled that other image. So like, I mean, like that's fucking cool.
Raphael.
Yes, it is.
You know, yeah, total Raph vibe. Raph if he was a frog. So
Yeah,
there
dude.
you go. There you go. See, Ethan, call me. We'll work on this together. I got to.
He's mad at.
Super Saiyan.
Maybe the AI Cyber Frog will actually release every year. Oh, damn. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
I mean,
lost-
wait, like I could do that I could probably do that right now. Hold on a second. Because I got Chat GPT. So you guys talk. I'm gonna do something real quick here.
Okay.
No, Air, dude. That trailer was excellent. You
I
got
didn't
Ben
see it yet.
Affleck, Matt Damon. You have Viola Davis playing Michael Jordan's mom, and I think the only, yeah. Like, look at it. You got Tucker in there. Like, it's a star list. But the thing is, which is interesting, that they don't have an actor from Michael Jordan. So maybe this is one of those things like you have like the film McDonald's or whatever with Michael Keaton. You have I'm trying to think of another example, but I thought it was interesting the fact they don't have anyone cast Michael Jordan. So this is going to be centered around the business aspect of this. But the trailer looked awesome. I'm intrigued. I buy it thus far.
I'm interested in it. It seems like an Oscar caliber movie.
Yeah, dude.
So.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Affleck is a very good
Batman.
he has a very good Batman. Oh, he's a very good director.
I know.
Yeah, Argo, man. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Argo, The Town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot there that's really gonna be you know, like the town is really good. Like the town is super good. So Jeremy Renner also in that one.
Oh yeah.
The Spider-Man Noir series over at Amazon. That's cool, but I just don't know what Sony's doing.
So is this going to be live action? And is it going to be Nicolas Cage? Because he voices the actor in the animated movie, which Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse was fantastic. I'm looking forward to the second movie, but is this live action or animated?
I don't know, and I'm trying to see. I don't think it even says in here. It just says it falls under Sony Pictures television umbrella. It might just be a spin-off of the style and the Across the Spider-Verse. I'm definitely for it. Anyone this series here, this is where I do rapid fire topics, Tim. So it's just what's I've been lots of articles. The peripheral. Damn, I'm having trouble saying it. Renewed for season 2 by Prime Video. Chloe Grace Moretz, which honestly, she's taken a lot of low budget projects.
She took a time. She kind of like downscaled for mental health.
Oh, really? Okay. She's really into sci-fi projects. Sci-fi drama is based on William Gibson's 2014 book of the same name. I'm going to give it a shot. There's lots of stuff. I've been sleeping on Prime Video. Is there any streaming that you're like, man, there's some stuff there I want to watch?
Prime Video has a lot of good stuff. I mean, I personally think that Lord of the Rings of Power is one of the best shows of last year. I just think that show was amazing. But also The Boys was up there as well.
Oh, The Boys, dude.
And then Invincible comes later this year. Like Amazon, dude, if you wanted my honest opinion, I would say if you needed to like ditch or keep streaming services, like keep Disney Plus because it's cheap and they got a lot of great content. And have Amazon and maybe Apple. Those would be the 3 to have. I could see dropping Hulu, dropping Netflix for right now because Netflix doesn't really wait till like the summertime when like their big rollouts are happening,
Rebel Moon.
Well, that's at the end of the year, but not only that, you've got like Heart of Stone, Extraction 2, and I'm hyped for Extraction. Like, holy shit.
I didn't finish Extraction, the first one yet. I started. It was very good. But I have to finish the movie. I'm like halfway through. The Expanse is on Prime. Great show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they saved that show too.
But I'm talking about like all the Jack Reacher, Jack Ryan. I only watched one season. There's Bosch on there. A lot of male series. A lot of white male series.
Do you want me to read to you the synopsis that ChatGPT gave me for the sequel to Cyberfrog?
Sure.
All right, so it's a 4-issue run. Okay, and they plot out the issues. I'm not even kidding you. They plot out. Want me here? I'll just bring it up on screen. I'll show you. Let's see. Okay, so if you bring that up, all right. So get ready to kill me, Ethan Van Sciver. All right, so it's called Cyberfrog Rebirth, Issue 1, Return of the Hero. The story opens with an appearance of a mysterious powerful energy source in the city, causing chaos and destruction. As the authorities and public struggle to understand what is happening, a figure emerges from the shadows. Cyberfrog, back in action. He quickly takes control of the situation, using his powers to stop the source of the energy and restore peace to the city. However, things are not as they seem. As Cyberfrog investigates the cause of the energy surge, he realizes that an old enemy has returned, seeking revenge. Issue 2, Nemesis. Cyberfrog learns that his arch-nemesis, the evil scientist Dr. Chimera, has returned and is behind the energy surge. Dr. Chimera reveals that he has created a new breed of cyborgs, even more powerful than Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog sets out to stop Dr. Chimera and his army of cyborgs, facing intense battles and new challenges along the way. Issue 3, The Ultimate Battle. Cyberfrog finally confronts Dr. Chimera in an epic showdown, determined to put an end to his evil plans once and for all. The two engage in an intense battle with the fate of the city hanging in the balance. As the battle reaches its climax, Cyberfrog must use all of his powers and ingenuity to defeat Dr. Chimera and save that. The word's tough. Issue 4, Aftermath. In the aftermath of the battle, Cyberfrog reflects on his victory and the lessons he has learned. He realizes that there will always be new threats to humanity, but he is ready to face them head on as protector of the city. The story ends with Cyberfrog flying off into the sunset, ready for his next adventure. The problem with fucking with Chat GTP, all the endings are all happy. I'm not even kidding you. Like, all the endings are happy. But I typed this here, said explain Cyberfrog, right? And it brought up what it was. And then who are the characters in Cyberfrog? And it gave me a breakdown of the characters. You know? And so it's just for shits and grins to like just to fuck around with that shit.
That sounds good.
I'll
read that, watch that.
There you go.
Ethan's gonna love that.
Oh yeah. And I'll ask you, can you write me a script for issue 1? There you go.
Patrick Stewart just teased another Marvel comeback. He's coming back again
for Deadpool.
Yeah, I know. Are we gonna watch him die for a third time?
I've been told to stand by. I know nothing more than that, honest. Yeah, they're gonna bring it back again.
Yeah. They're gonna bring it back, and he's gonna get we're gonna watch him die again, man. That's what's gonna happen.
I had this up, but we basically covered this already. Yeah, Zack Snyder contacted James Gunn about the DC slate. Although I will say one thing with James Gunn is saying was like he's not really interested in doing anything DC. I would speculate that he's asking about Zach. If he did say, Zach, you want to do something, it's based on Gunverse stuff, not to complete his, and that's probably why he wouldn't be interested. Is that a safe assumption, Matt? Like, I mean, he's like, you want to do something here? We're not going to continue what you.
No, I don't think. I think if they talked about it, it was done jokingly. I don't think any of it was done seriously, because James keeps reiterating Zach is happy doing what he's doing over there. You know, and the thing you have to remember about Zack Snyder, and I keep reiterating this point, but people seem to forget me every time I say it. Zach has repeatedly said that he will never say no to a paying customer, meaning that if you are a fan, he'll never tell you something is never going to happen.
Because it is an AI Jarbo.
Yeah, because the doors have been open because everyone thinks now we're in such a climate now because the Zack Snyder universe, essentially one part of it or half a part of it came true. So people are going to keep retweeting if we keep doing this, this is going to happen. And I think that's kind of a problem too. Even with the recast T'Challa stuff, people keep adding it because we saw stuff that we never thought, and all people on the internet have made clips of saying this is never going to happen. This is never going to happen. Even more famous YouTubers or big upcoming YouTubers, and it happened. But then again, it's eventually you just gotta let go, Kylo Ren, let the past die, kill it if you have to. So just I'm past the point where I want to move on.
I don't want to move on.
Yeah.
So you see a 40-year-old madman in a Dr. Doom mask and a robe.
No, just I know, oh dude, was that one of your topics about Rey coming back and Grogu, or was that just a rumor? I don't know. I've been hearing that. What do you think?
Well, Daisy Ridley said she'd be open to it or thinks it'd be cool.
Ghost!
What the hell happened there?
The Force fell down, dude. This happens every now and then. My sabers just kind of Rey gets mad. Well, I don't know. They're no, Ben Solo, we want you back. Keep talking about it.
Saber up.
That's what she said.
Our sponsor, MME ED pills, 20% off. I'm just making fun of that.
I don't see the logo on screen. I keep waiting for it. My bad.
I was making fun of when this other YouTuber hawking ED pills with a discount to his audience. We all have this problem. I'm like, why would you say that to your audience, even if it's true?
Yeah. My sabers keep falling down. Darn it, Force Ghost. Luke Skywalker, leave me alone, Uncle. I'm not coming back to the.
Matt, do you have issues keeping your sabers up?
Oh no. No. Not at all. I mean, it's firm with how hard it is to fall down. It's stoic. It's rocky, if you will. I can do a push-up with it. That is how stable my lightsaber is. All you need is one.
Yeah, it's not unstable, right?
No,
It's not
no.
unstable.
Now, well, sometimes it does shoot off early, but that's, you just get excited. You know what I mean? And that happens. That does happen. It's not something to be embarrassed by. I mean, like, it is just, I mean,
Where's the
sometimes
chat? The chat's not even moving.
I know. Everyone left because I started talking about Cyberfrog.
Oh, wow.
Oh, by the way, so I did. This is the thing. I asked it to do to write me a script for issue 1 of Cyberfrog Rebirth, which is only gave me 15 pages. So I guess that's like maybe a standard issue. Maybe, I don't know, right? I don't know. It could be a little longer. And then I asked it, can you write the dialogue? And it's actually writing out the dialogue on the panels. It's very simple, but it's very like you can just keep tweaking it in order to get what you need. I guess. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, the shit down the road is just gonna get nutty. It's gonna get.
Yes, I am gonna do mailbag. Thank you, Dr. Doc. I have this last article, and then I'm gonna do mailbag. Godzilla has a very important role on Apple Monsterverse TV series. I'm really looking forward to this. Let me see. Best known for being at the helm of Disney Plus series WandaVision, Matt Shakman is now gearing up to bring a new version of Marvel's Fantastic Four to the screen. In between those projects, he's also working on the Apple Plus TV series expansion of legendary Entertainment Monsterverse series, the other universe that's successful besides the MCU. Shakman confirmed that Godzilla does play a very important role on the show. I hope it wasn't like one of those shows that they never show the kaiju or Godzilla at all. When asked about the budget of the show and how much we should expect to see of Godzilla and other Titans, Shakman said, "You will always run out of money eventually, even if it's Harry Potter, Star Wars, Star Trek, Godzilla, you run out of money. But it's less about carrying out shots, although eventually you'll have to do that, and more about storytelling. You know how much was Godzilla going to factor into the story? And he was a very important role to play, and how he factors in the series is a big part of it. So that was the bigger driver, and he's not the only Titan that you're going to meet along the way. So yeah, there's VFX conversation constantly happening. I don't want to go into too much more of that, but I'm glad that it's at least in part of the conversation. I do think they are going to oversell that too, though. I don't think there's going to be much Titans in it. Do you, Matt or Tim? In the series around the Monsterverse?
I mean, like, well, if it's it all depends on what their budget is going to be for it. I mean, obviously, I think they're filming it, aren't they? They're already filming the show, or at least, like, I don't know who's in it. No, do we know who's in it? I don't know who's in it.
I don't know who's in it now.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a show I'm excited for. I really do like the Monsterverse movies. I think they're all like, I finally saw, was it Kong Skull Island, like the day that Godzilla v Kong came out?
That. Yeah.
And I was really impressed with Kong Skull Island. Not as much with Godzilla v Kong because they cut out like the story, I feel like. And I think that was a COVID thing, to be fair. I think that was more of a COVID issue. But no, that should be fun. I think talking about like the history of it, what they're going to be doing with the organization, right? What's the organization called?
Monarch.
Yeah.
Like Monarch Butterfly.
If it's all about like, Monarch, we're going to get a lot more out of like, I think other Titans and other Mutos and things like that. Like we're going to get like a lot more insight, maybe going down into like the middle of the earth or that world and like what they found. Cause remember at the end of Kong Skull Island, when they walk into the Monarch headquarters and they're like, well, we got to talk about some shit. Like there's other stuff that's going on here. I think that's what it's going to be about, but I really, the thing is, and that's the thing I really disliked about Godzilla v Kong was like, I'm like, you guys got rid of all the human story. And I know like it ain't the greatest, but it's still necessary to move the plot along. You have to have things from a human perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same thing because I think it's going to be like one of the Detective Gordon stuff. You're going to tell like, sorry, my voice. The CW, I did like the Detective Gordon, or it was called Gotham, I guess. you learn about the world. Season 1 wasn't the greatest, but season 2 and after that I really liked, because they got like Gotham in itself felt like a creature. And then when you can explore like this, pretty much like the Godzilla stuff is like the Pacific Rim, right? When you go in the ocean, whatever, there's a whole nother universe on how that works. So I think that could be interesting for the first season, but then eventually people they're going to want to see the big monsters, right? The glitz and the glamour, and then where does the budget go, right? That's going to cost a lot more money. So I agree kind of what Matt's saying. Maybe the first season will be like that and keep that kind of coasting in season 2 a little bit, but you got to show the big monsters fighting eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the mailbag. I didn't notice this came out too. Drop the Taco.
Fast 10.
With Brie Larson.
Yep.
Look at that poster.
Yeah. Has
that gob. I've been staring at this for a half hour. I'm literally shaking.
God, he's still around? I thought he sunsetted his Twitter and his YouTube. And
he's still around.
Is he still making videos?
Yeah. Justin, I sent it to you in the group DMs on Twitter that you're part of.
No. Are we commenting on the trailer that we saw?
Oh, I didn't see the trailer yet. If you saw it, tell us. How was the trailer?
Okay. So, does it have family? Yes, because it's all about family. I know I'm parodying here, but it's okay. It's a lot of fan service. A lot of it's plugged in. The trailer is literally 4 minutes and 30 seconds. It's 4 minutes or maybe around there. But it didn't really impress me. Every villain that was in there is in there. And they bring in Brie Larson, which is fine. They bring in Jason Statham. They have everyone that was in the family verse. I'm just going to call it that, and it's okay. But I heard, which was alarming to me, that this was supposed to be the big shebanger. They're supposed to be doing another movie.
I think
11.
I think they split it.
Oh, they split it. Okay, yeah.
Now, hey, Justin, no spoilers, but Neil Druckmann only to put on Twitter was "I'm sorry," and it's getting a lot of retweets. I didn't see tonight's episode yet. Did you, Matt?
No, I'm gonna watch it before going to bed, and so that'll be here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's 4 in the morning.
What is it? What is he sorry about?
Probably something happened.
Spoilers. Don't spoil it for me. No.
It's in the game. It's in the game. I thought we were gonna get more time, but I guess not.
I haven't got a chance to see the show yet.
It's a great show.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I suppose. Good for them. I can use a little bit more Pedro Pascal in my life. At least in regards to acting.
Well, yes.
But Baby Yoda isn't there, bro. Just kidding.
I don't care.
I'm just joking. I'm still going to watch the series.
I prefer Pedro in Last of Us over Mandalorian. I love him in Mandalorian. I love the Mandalorian, but I'm just he's just got way more scenes to chew on with his acting ability in this role. Way more challenging. I love the Mandalorian, but
I'm just joking, bro.
No, and I've worn helmets. It's hard to wear a helmet. I know, Tim, you should know that, right? You cosplay a lot. Wearing helmets all around time is pretty tough.
Yeah, especially going to Comic-Cons, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, you're sweating like balls,
Yeah. I don't want to sweat like balls.
Yeah.
Are you actually going to wear that if you go out publicly to an event, a convention?
Yeah, I was thinking about I'm going to wear my Miko shirt because it's a retro video game. And I was thinking about getting a gold chain, a pimp cane, some cool pajama bottoms, really silky, flowy pajama bottoms, and maybe some really cool slippers or some cool boots. Or my gloves. I don't know, got a Dr. Doom pimp vibe. What do you think, Justin?
Go for it.
Go for it.
You could do a fan meetup, and it's just I
don't have enough fans to meet up.
I don't know.
Although I am kind of somewhat a little bit slightly famous as the crazy maniac that interviewed Tommy Talrico in that video documentary.
Yeah.
What is this streaming schedule? I don't know. Matt always tells me the truth. Should I do that, Matt?
No.
Although I do have a question though. Would you be fine with doing you'd have to be okay with going to like a convention and wearing that mask the entire day. Would that be an issue?
I already do it on YouTube. Like I've been doing this for like 3 hours almost.
Yeah,
You can
but
take
like,
breaks,
well,
too,
actually, you
like-
did a 24-hour live stream, so you should be fine.
No, like you can take breaks. Like you go.
I will be
like,
right
eat
back.
Some pizza and drink some like energy drinks. That's what I did, dude. Like I went to MegaCon last year. Dude, I was super dehydrated. It was so many people, and I was like sweating balls. I was like, guys, I need to take a break. So I chilled for a half hour by myself, eating like pizza, which I don't usually eat fast food that much. And then I was like pounding water down energy drinks.
I never do.
Well, I mean, it's convention food. Like, it's just there.
Yeah.
Well, we do
you
have
know.
37 questions in the mailbag, so we got to get started here. So I said, holy heck, CGH, you're back. Mass Vigilante says, Max, beware the CGH has returned from the Shadow Realm and is dropping big loads of questions
baby.
in the
That's what she
mailbag.
said.
Like it's the first week of DDD. He's been holding out for a long time. Okay. Brian, Master of None, thanks for the gifted membership. Here's my question. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A lot. That's my answer. Quote of the day 67. In every suffering, there's a message entering a deep sadness that one day your sense of joy will be executed. Until then, when we pay attention to the good in our lives and even call it even more good into them, but there's limitations to that unhealthy goodness and unwanted misery. Okay. Hey, Max, I hope you're having an excellent night. And of course, hearing more news about Zack fans want his Justice League version to continue on Netflix. At the same time, calling him a traitor for interacting with Gunn under topics they don't know anything about because he said the DCU is just pathetic. This all-out war of dead fandom is just trying to stay relevant. It's just sad. Also, Spider-Man Noir is getting a live-action series in production, so that's pretty cool. He's one of my favorite Spider-Men. Awesome.
What?
So he's saying that that's live action. What did you say, Justin?
Wait, Spider-Man what?
Noir.
What's that?
It's one of the Spider-Verse Spider-Men. Hey, Caden.
Oh, I didn't see that yet. So
yeah.
I unfortunately wrote it off because I thought like the Miles Morales was supposed to be Peter Parker, and I'm like, what are they doing? I didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
But I have since learned, and I've learned that Miles is actually a decent character, so I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Is that fair or is that too mean?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Now with all,
No, Miles was dope. The game was pretty solid, to be honest.
I didn't play the game yet.
Oh, dude, it's great.
Cool. All right, so Voltaire 325, that Megan movie scared the pants off of me. When I got home, I immediately destroyed my collection of VHS tapes in the show Small Wonder. What? I don't understand that reference there. I don't understand the VHS tape. Did you see Megan, Justin, or Tim? Are you there?
Wait, what?
Did you see Megan, that horror movie that came out?
Oh yeah, it did. I almost forgot that I did. It was good. It was all right.
You understand why he's saying he destroyed his collection of VHS tapes of the show called Small Wonder? I don't get that.
I actually don't remember what was that reference. I don't
know.
I don't know. I only saw it once, and
okay.
I unfortunately forgot a lot of what happened. But
I didn't see it.
It just wasn't memorable, I guess. Maybe I don't know. It was fine. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. Unlike Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, really? You won't shut up about that. It's really that bad?
It sucks because it doesn't go like the joke route that you would expect it to. It takes itself way too seriously. Everyone's British, and I don't know if their humor just isn't land.
What do you have against Harry Potter, Justin? Darn you.
No, it's not that. It's just like they're British. Their acting is terrible. The costumes are terrible. The kills are like boring. Like
wait, which movie?
I'm bored. It sucks. Like I hated everything about it. 0 out of 10.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's coming to theaters this week.
Yeah,
Is
and
it
it
really?
sucks. Don't watch it.
Well, it's kind of like the Mean One, like that came out right after Terrifier, and that did pretty well. Like for its limited release, they kept kind of expanding it in theaters because people kept checking it out. But no one I talked to said it was a good movie.
Yeah, the fake blood was horrible. Like the acting wasn't bad. It was just like the effects for it. It was again a boring movie that I just did not give a crap about.
Ryan, thank you, Ryan, and I appreciate you. So, I got to be honest. Everyone knows my process of that I've been in debt for my hobbies. But that game, I think I might have to get a physical copy.
It's only $40. Yeah,
$40, and it looks really good.
You know what?
That's not bad.
I was talking about the Switch stuff the other night, and somebody brought up the game Hong Kong Massacre. And Hong Kong Massacre is a game that there was like a demo of it or like a video of it many years ago. It felt like it was in the vein of Hotline Miami. And if you've ever played Hotline Miami, you know what I'm talking about. But it's like top down, very violent shooter. And they released it finally on the PlayStation and on the Switch. And it was on the Switch for $20 on its own. And I was like, all right, that may not, all right. And then I found a bundle with that and another game for $4 on the Switch on the Nintendo eShop. So I bought that, and there even was a discount, so it only cost me $3 for 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hell yeah, right? Because I also got This War of Mine, the full game for like $2, that's a fun game. But it's a bleak survival game. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
So can I ask you, did you find it on an e-store or actual physical
no,
copy?
e-store, e-store. The e-store has it. Yeah. I did get, what I found on the Switch physical that I bought was Stubbs the Zombie.
Oh yeah.
I remember that I didn't know they had ported it outside of Xbox because I remember getting that game for back in 2003 for the original Xbox. And it was I think the first game outside of Halo to be developed with the Halo engine. And it was made by one of Halo's co-creators. And the game is where you play a zombie and you get to infect other people as you're making your way through this kind of 1950s sci-fi futuristic city that woke you from your grave and everything. It's a great game. It's a great game.
Wait, I'm confused. How is it? Can you elaborate on a 1950s and then futuristic? I'm confused.
Okay. Do you ever remember watching an old 1950s sci-fi movie that depicts the future?
Oh,
and everything is future.
It's...
Yeah, the way it looks is it has that 1950s vibe, but it's got flying cars. Essentially, not that this one has.
Back to the Future, but not right.
Yeah, kind of.
Blade Runner Blade Runner, right?
No. This is more bright, happy future. We've eliminated all the minorities, so we're happy. That's the vibe.
That's cold, man.
No. That's the vibe I get from these, white picket fence community sort of thing.
Oh, okay. So no representation in it.
No, I think there might be. You do kill a lot of Hicks.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because what it is you start in the city because they build the city, chemicals get into the ground, it wakes you up. You were a traveling salesman who was murdered, and you wake up, and you're just you were dead, and now you've been woken, and you're I just want to destroy everything because F you guys. So as you make your way through. You can actually get power. So you can get gas, you can fart or burp or whatever. You can detach your hand and your hand will become a little remote, a little remote you can control, right? Thing from the Addams Family. And you can actually scale the walls like a spider and go over someone's head and drop on them and take control. So there's an entire mission that takes place inside of a police station. And you actually control the cops, and the cops have guns, and you just start using the cops to kill the other cops. And then if your character dies, the hand will just you can just do the hand again and go and possess somebody else. Or you can even like you pull off your head and use it as like a bowling ball to try to like take down an enemy from a distance.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun game. I would have loved to have seen an updated version of it. But I found it for $15 on the Switch, and I'm like, yeah, you're coming home with me.
What's it? Wait, what's it called again?
It's called
That's a
Stubbs
good
the
price
Zombie.
for that.
Yeah. Oh, dude. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, are you kidding me? $15 physical copy of this game? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like Jarbo, like there's GameStop. Everyone knows GameStop's like a ripoff, and we have this place called Disc Replay that we get more like in-store credit. And like when a new system comes out, I don't buy it because I know there's going to be glitches, right? At least the first year there's going to be glitches, and people are going to send their systems back. And obviously, I'm not a hardcore gamer, but I like the game a little bit, right? Especially God of War Ragnarok was dope, man. I love that game. So like, I kind of wait, and then I go to like places like Disc Replay. They sell other things, whatever, and they do like hard copies, right? I don't like to buy my games still. I know that's kind of the future, and whatever, buy digitally, but like I guess that's kind of the old school aspect to me. Just like I'd rather buy the hard copy and trade I beat the game and I traded it. That's it,
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a thing. They're actually at my old GameStop way back in the day. There was actually a note written in my file that I could not return games anymore.
Oh damn!
At this one store because I treated it like a rental service.
Oh, okay.
I would just return the game after a week, and they'd be like, "Really?" I'm all like, "What? The game sucked. You have a return policy." And they're like, our manager said to not let you do this. And I'm all like, well, that violates your shit. So whatever, man.
Well, you actually tested that?
I knew him. No, I was friends with people who worked there, and they were like, really, dude, can you like just like
chill out,
stop? And I'm like, I'll go to another one. And they're like, all right, fine.
Well, Jarbro wasn't wrong, man. Like the first Spider-Man game was epic. Like as far as like the PS4 one, I beat that in the first weekend, and then like the Miles Morales one was like a DLC. I beat that within like 2 days. That's all I did on the weekend. Like wasn't like working on the weekend, so I just played that game. And I was like, oh, I already beat it. So you know what I mean? We all know like yeah, times have changed, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I agree with you. I like physical media. I mean. Yeah. I look at like the streaming side of things, and I'm like, look, it's like, I don't, I pay for a lot of this stuff, but I have zero issue, no regret whatsoever with like downloading certain movies that are on the service, like having, it's not even like a physical, having just a digital copy of something I can watch when like I don't have access to the service, because they, on your mobile device with Netflix, you can download movies and watch them there, but that's not on like your television or your console or whatever. And I'm like, I'm paying for this. It's a weird gray area when it comes to this kind of shit.
When the internet goes out, all said and done, bro, like you can't watch it unless you own it, right? Like the hard copies, you can stick it in your PlayStation or whatever console you own and still watch it. And everyone that's like downloading everything on the internet is like, oh, sorry, bye, Felicia. I'm still watching this film. Whatever, because I own the physical copy. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like boom. It's like, oh my gosh, I see what you're saying now. Because the internet does go out.
Well, have you seen, like, for example, I'll bring this up here because this doesn't get talked about enough. About how Disney just needs to like absolutely. Hold on. Let me find it here. So, I wonder if you can still find it over on Walmart.com, because they don't have the Mandalorian on home video, right?
Oh, dang.
But if you go to Walmart.com, you can actually like find a copy of it. Now that's kind of weird, that's a little bit weird. Let me see if I can actually find if it's.
Then what's Jarbo also thing is it actually sold by Walmart, or is it like an independent seller? That's another thing.
That's the thing. It looks like they've taken it down, but we've looked at it before, and it's an independent seller.
See, yeah. See, that's what they do on Amazon and like Walmart. It might be Walmart, but you got to always look at who's actually selling it, right?
Well, I think Walmart took it down. I wonder if eBay has it, because eBay. I used to buy a lot of bootleg shit off of eBay. So, like what it was, well, because it was like back in the day, you know, like if you know, and I don't know how old. I don't.
Sorry, guys.
I'm still here. Like I'm listening. I have no idea.
We're just talking about movies.
Sorry. We're talking. Well, here's the thing, Justin. Like, do you remember what it was like to have a VHS recording in your or VHS machine, VCR in your house?
I remember the VCR.
All right, I don't know how old you are, so I have to kind of.
I was born in the 20th century. We'll go that far.
Okay.
If that gives you an indication.
Yes. I'm assuming towards the end of the of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all technically born towards the end of it.
I mean, yes, I was born in 1982, so yes, I was the smoke-free class of 2000 and of 2000. That's what they branded us. All of us smoked, by the way. So
smoke-free, like cigarettes, or
yeah,
like
it was cigarette. It was just branding. They're all like, "You guys are the smoke-free class of 2000."
Figure out what CJ.
You guys are the smoke-free generation. Yet you guys are like outside the school right afterwards, or like chain smoking.
Yes. I mean, literally across the street from my high school, there was this neighborhood, and every morning they drop us off like 30 minutes before our first class. I don't know why they did, but they did. And we would get there, and then half the school body would, or well, not half, but a fair amount of us would walk across the street to the neighborhood and go just a half a block down to where there was like the first little like turnoff, and everyone would be out there smoking behind this big ass tree. And every day. It was every day.
Imagine like a whole crowd of like 50 people.
Dude, yeah, no, every day.
How big was this tree?
It was like the tree. It was one of those big trees on like a street corner. It was like in a it just kind of blocked from the street view. But like the funny thing is like the neighbors would have had to have been pissed off, because like they had to have walked out there every day, and there would have been like hundreds of cigarette butts, literally Monday through Friday, And then
bigger than the Lion King tree, right? Remember?
No, not bigger than that. It was just a big tree. It's
the tree of life.
But what I mean by that is like we would still. It didn't matter. It was cigarettes. It was weed. This is all before vaping and shit. So like everyone would just go smoke and then go walk into class. I'd oftentimes I'd finish my cigarette, I'd put it out, and then I would just go walk right into like first period German. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I probably reeked like cigarettes. I just never smelled it, because you just can't smell it when you're a smoker.
Right.
But now,
you
as an
can
ex-smoker,
sometimes taste it, from what I recall.
It's still pretty bad for me. I can't. Cigarettes kill me at this point. But yeah,
you taste like cigarettes, Jenny. Remember when Forrest Gump?
Wow.
Remember that? Remember that line? I love Forrest Gump. He's like, "You taste like cigarettes." No, I can't date a chick that smokes cigarettes. I'm with Jarva on this one.
Well, because I smoked for 9 years, and then I quit, and I've been smoke free now for 16 and a half years.
Oh, well, that's good, man.
Yeah, no, it's really.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was tough. That was very tough to do.
You don't taste like cigarettes.
No, I don't taste. But I can't. But I can't stand the smell of smoke. Like, well, I'll put it. If someone lights up a cigarette, if it's a fresh cigarette, I love the smell. Love that smell. That's never gone away. But if it's like,
but it doesn't mean you should do it.
No, of course not. Of course not. Like that. It's like just I love that smell. But if it's like a stale cigarette or like stale smoke or secondhand smoke, I can't do it. Right. But like that first hit off a cigarette, yeah, you'll get I'm like, ooh, But then after that, it's like gross. So,
well, the mailbag here.
Let's talk about
Max. My bad, dude.
No, that's what happens here. It's fine. It's fine. I don't even know what. I don't even understand this question. Well, it's 4:25 for me.
2 hours data. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you started streaming at
I know it's my fault. It's my fault. I've been trying to get through this mailbag for 2 days, and I want to. I appreciate the questions, but I'm really confused by this one from CJH. A young boy was rushed to the hospital emergency room, but the ER doctor saw the boy and refused to operate. This boy is my son, the doctor said, but the doctor wasn't the boy's father. How could this be? What? I don't understand.
I think it's an old Canadian proverb.
Okay.
Right? Because they're like, is it, is it a walrus?
What? What does that have to do with anything?
Canadians fuck walruses?
What? No, what?
What?
Yeah, or maple trees? It keeps them warm in the winter?
That's not, maple trees are not great for lube. Like maple syrup. No.
Exactly. Canadians are the rougher type of people. Justin.
It's a recipe for disaster. You'll get stuck inside of it, and
But
believe
then
me,
you'll stay warm for
fun.
the winter. But you'll stay warm for the winter.
Well, your dick will, but everything else.
Well, I mean, to many guys, that's the only part of their body that matters.
Oh wow.
So okay, so you could
there's
your
lots
arms
of
and legs, and you have frostbite in your face, and your nose falls off. Oh, but at least it got my.
There's lots of issues here that I have.
Well,
with
I
the
mean,
actual question though, like why would someone, if a father was an ER doctor, why wouldn't he want to work on his son? First off, and then he says, "This is my son," and doesn't opt, but he's not even his son. Like he's a liar. Like I don't. Is this even a doctor? I don't even think he's a doctor. Who did the ER doctor saw the? I don't understand this. You stumped me, CJH. Is that what you?
It's a riddle, right?
Stepdaughter?
It's a riddle. What is this? Pornhub stepdaughter?
Like they're trans or like what?
I don't know.
No, hold on. Okay,
Wait, but the doctor wasn't the boy's father.
I don't even think there's an answer to the CGH. I think you're just. I don't even think this is actual riddle. I just think he's nonsense.
I don't. The doctor
Okay, hold on. Okay, the answer is that. Okay, so you're gonna.
Did you ask AI?
No, I just Googled it. Okay, a boy was rushed to the hospital emergency room. The ER doctor saw the boy and said, "I cannot operate on this boy. He is my son." But the doctor was not the boy's father. How could that be?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was the boy's mother.
I'm an idiot. Okay.
I guess. I guess that's a There you go.
It seems
like
wow. I was thinking right? The kid was trans and like I was going through all that.
Wow. It's like you're like with the kid, he was playing a Hogwarts Legacy and then he just felt a weird feeling in his bones and then he went to the ER and now he's gay and trans and other
things. All right. James Gunn is here though. Matt, you see that? Or James Gunn commented.
James Gunn's a member.
I'm Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Samir Ababsa, have you read Final Crisis? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? No, I haven't, but I would like to, especially since the famous Zack Snyder photo of the turkey next to Final Crisis. I would like to read it, Samir. Maybe I should. And then I'll cry because I'm never going to get that. But yeah, I would like to read it. I need to read more comics. I haven't. I need to read more in general. I even need to read the articles more. I barely read the articles. Ask Matt.
That is true. I mean, Max is like a headline kind of guy. Yeah. That's the. I mean, and that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people out there just read the headlines.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so am I to a certain degree, but only because I cover funny articles. Like the headlines are like the one
I skim through articles, but I miss a lot. Yeah, I try to.
I'll tell you. If you want to cover Justin, if you want to cover crazy shit, check out TikTok, dude. There's so much crazy on TikTok.
Oh, I have
every single week. There's new shit.
Yeah. Max, because I'm on TikTok, obviously. Yeah, I see a lot of. I try to stay away from it, man, because. It's not real life, man. I go out and talk to people in real life. I'm like, maybe TikTok is not real life. And we see these, like, I'm a gym goer. And the big phenomenon right now is these women that wear these, like, hyperbolic leggings that accentuate the body parts, and they're like, "Ooh, this guy is watching me, stalking me." When he glances over, when you're doing all that, dude.
Yourself, right?
It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. I'm a gym goer. I've been going to the gym, like it's ingrained within me. But there's a reason why I wear a hat and just look down, bro. I do, like, because it's not just women, bro. It's just like, old people. Sometimes people just stare. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like part of human nature. Just like get over it, bro, or get over woman, or whatever you want to call yourself. But just like it's like daddy chill. Right, that whole like thing. Daddy
I'm
chill.
do that same thing. I'm gonna go to the gym with my mask, and like people are staring at me.
Dude, yeah. Like I guarantee you, bro. Like if you did that,
You should have done that during looking at me. That's me wearing my mask.
I think I think the thing is though, it's like, look, we're visual creatures. You know what I mean? Like when I go to the gym, when I go to the, it's not even the fucking gym, guys. Like it's like go to the store, bro. And like women will wear leggings, and it's like, look, they're comfortable. I get it. They're really comfortable. And then you get the leggings, and you're just like it's like there's booty, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, but it's the leggings that like go within your butt cheeks.
No. I know what you're talking about. I was at Chipotle picking up an order like 2 years ago, and this woman walks in, and I'm like, you have to know what you're doing at this point.
They do, bro.
She walks in, and it's like literally form-fitting leggings. Like nothing was left in the imagination, and it's like you could see every guy there just like immediately try to like look elsewhere. But it's like a magnet. There's like, it's just like, what do you? Because if we look, we're called perverts, but it's like it's there, and we're just meant to deal with it.
It's because I could go off and on about this as an avid gym goer. Mr. ISU, I'm a bodybuilder. Like I know, but the thing is, it's got so toxic from TikTok. Jarbo, like we're talking about.
It's not just TikTok, dude. This goes back. Like,
yeah,
this goes back. Like, what you got to realize though is that like people, like, when it comes to working out is like the gym culture is just this thing where it's like
sexual endorphins get released, bro. Like when you're lifting and you get the pump. That's what happens.
I mean, I don't lift. I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I'm just generally horny, so that's not even like gonna do a thing for me. But it's just like. I'm just saying
because body of plays. Hey,
no, it's because like I am an avid gym goer. Anyone that follows me, whatever, I try to keep it neutral, but like I always look down and I see these things going on. I see people look at me, but I don't flip the F out on people. And then if you're like posting a tripod in a gym, people are gonna be like, what the heck are you doing? And not everyone wants to be on cam. Sorry, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a privacy factor when you go to the gym too. I think that's something like it's people are there because like they're what is it? Planet Fitness is like the judgment-free zone, right?
Oh yeah.
And like if someone
this is
like
actually funny,
if someone rocks out to that kind of shit, I mean, I don't know. Like I have a gym membership. I need to go more often and whatnot, but it's not like, God, Gary
Potter and the Bigot Stone. They actually named their straight that. That is actually funny.
That's fine by me. Okay, cool, dude.
Wait. Go back. It says fake. What is it? Fake what?
Wait, I don't know. Oh, that's another problem.
Fake Irishman?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, Gary, those guys are just they're just at this point they're trolling because like
that is funny though. I like that.
That's all they're gonna do.
Yeah. No, I respect their opinions, but I can still coexist with them. But like as a gym goer, man, it's like hard for like someone to go to the gym anymore because these girls are just constantly. You buy a pair of leggings and you're a gym goer now, and then they post these things on the Instagram, and then like we have all these simps just like saying all these things to them, and they're not even like that built. And
what?
So all right, sorry, I'll get off this.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
fitness person, so I'll get off of it.
Yeah,
Well,
me too, bro. Me too.
Yeah, Max is really all about. He's about to
I'm
lift.
curling something right now.
Yeah, it's about the Twinkie from his waist to his mouth.
Oh,
my
man.
bad, man. I should never.
You know, he's got to lift
I'm
that
wearing
hoagie.
my leggings right now. I'm
I would love to
I
see
would
it.
love-
I really don't think any of us should be talking.
My
Jim,
laser
Jim can
sword
speak on the gym. I don't think we can.
My bad.
my laser sword is
Well, here's the good thing about cracking 40 is that like eventually you get into like the dad bod phase, right? And women do they like the dad bod. Women like the dad bod.
Jarbo.
No, they like the dad bod.
You saw that.
They like I get checked out. I get checked out more now that I'm older and I've got the gray beard and I got like the thing. It's not imaginary.
Well, did you see that whole poll about them saying that the dad bod was more sexy than like someone having a six pack? Did anyone see that?
You know why it is? You know why it is?
Yeah,
it's the same reason. It's the same reason why in some cultures the largest individual is seen as the leader.
With the biggest belly in African
because they've got everything. Right. But the problem now is that it's like you go, is that person fat because he can eat a lot, or is he fat because McDonald's is down the street and they got them cheap ass Big Macs?
Yeah, but then you also gonna make an argument the fact that like people that are on whatever government control or whatever paying for their food stamps.
Whoa.
For the food, you know what I'm talking about.
You're talking about EBT. You're talking about EBT.
Compared to someone that actually has a good job, right?
Well,
you know what I'm talking about, bro. Sorry.
Wait. I mean, well, I've been on food stamps, so I can. So here's the thing with that.
No,
like,
my family. No, I to be honest, my dad was in the military, and I lived in government housing. A little bit growing up, but my dad always had the notion, do better, and we moved out of that like government housing. So, you know, I'm not knocking down people that have to do what they got to do to survive. But what I'm saying is just like sometimes when you're like complaining about health and fitness and your fridge is full compared to someone that actually makes like a decent living and their fridge is not as full as yours, there's a dilemma.
But
there,
again,
right?
I have to just I'm going to push back a little bit on that because I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but it's not like the amount of money that you're given by the state or the government in order for EBT or the SNAP program or whatever you want to call it, food stamps, whatever you want to call it, you really don't get that much. And you also have restrictions. So it's like, for one, did you know that you are not legally allowed on food stamps to buy hot meals? You are not allowed to buy hot items, cooked items.
You buy your groceries cold.
Yes.
And then yeah. But then also
because it's the way it's prepared.
I've done community service, and then I've gone to soup kitchens, whatever, that give people meals. The notion is you have to go eat these meals, and then you can pick up these items, and all these items are expired. But a lot of these people don't know, like milk and all. Eggs, whatever, don't really expire long past their dates. That's my point, right?
I mean, again, but it's all about
but like sweets and stuff that they give them, Jarbo, is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't agree with the concept of like, you know, if you have food stamps, like, you know, buying certain, like, you have restrictions, you can't buy certain things. So it's you can't walk into a liquor store with an EBT card and be like, yo, give me a bottle of Jack, right? Like, you're not able to do that. But it does benefit a lot of people. Not unfortunately at all. Like I mean, the thing is though, there are people out there who do genuinely need this kind of stuff. They need help. What we have is a problem with these like food deserts and urban environments, malnutrition amongst kids in like really impoverished school districts because they're not able to get the funding for the right amount of food, or the food because they go through a third party, and that third party just fucking like gives the cheap shit. You know, and it's just processed foods, and it's the easiest thing. I'll tell you this though. The worst part is that why is it I can go to McDonald's and I can get a fucking, Big Mac for $4, but if I want to go to the store and like buy the bread and buy the cheese and buy the whatever I need, the meat, it's going to cost me like $20, right?
But
even though
dude,
it'd be
the Big
healthier.
Mac is no longer $4 or $5. It's like $10 now. Have you been
If you
to
get the
McDonald's
meal,
recently?
it's like that. But again, the value pack is whatever, man. It's like,
Fries
I'm just
cost so much and you get so little.
No, like what I'm saying is, bros,
McDonald's is getting bad at that. I'll tell you this. Right
yeah,
now.
like Jarbo, like I agree with you, but I disagree with you, and I see the
What
way
is
the conversation
this?
is.
AI Shrek from the 80s.
What?
Yeah,
it actually looks pretty cool.
No,
I would watch the fuck out of this.
You're
Yes.
a monster. Like the Shrek, right? Is this Shrek?
Yeah, Shrek from AI. This is fed into the AI. Matt knows all about this. This is Shrek.
Sure,
80s.
I know
80s
all
is a
about the
prompt.
AI.
Live action, 80s prompt. That's pretty good. A lot of it looks pretty good. Fiona doesn't look that great.
Who doesn't look that great?
Imagine when it came out, 2001, something like that. Imagine if they actually put prosthetics on Mike Myers and they had Eddie Murphy voice the donkey, kind of like they did with Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, that's Puss in Boots, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Cat and Puss is actually doing pretty well right now.
Farquaad is
in
on
the box office, right?
Looks amazing.
I like Farquaad a lot.
Oh, Farquaad. Farquaad? I don't know.
Farquaad.
The dragon
Farquaad.
looks cool.
Dragon looks weird. I don't know what to think of it, but yeah.
Shrek looks bad.
Yeah, that's gonna be the worst part. Imagine Fiona though.
Yeah.
Like
Fiona's in the
as
right
like
corner,
the
bro.
ogre version. How terrible that would be, Shrek 2.
All right. And on this episode of Max tries to get through the mailbag. This is fun.
Sorry,
It's
dude.
fun. No, it's
Sorry,
fine.
man.
What we could all answer this. James Gunn wants to know what Super Bowl trailer are you most excited for? It is still the Flash, even though I'm the most like I'm not convinced yet about the Flash. I'm like, what are they going to show? I
Do you
think
have
a
the
lot of the
image,
hype
bro?
is manufactured, but maybe it's not. I don't know. What did you say, Tim?
The image, man. Notice that in the image. I was watching the John Campy show. I know people don't like him, but they did say something really interesting. I thought that Ezra's face is not shown in the Flash trailer, but it is interesting in the fact that we see the Flash in the corner, and we see like the Batman, the old 1989 or 91 Batman symbol.
Michael Keaton.
And plugging into him, Michael Keaton, right? So, obviously we know a lot of controversy is around that, which, I don't like, but, I'll take it at face value. Don't like, he hasn't been, they haven't said that he was this or that, right? Can anyone back me up on that? But we've heard a lot of stories. And but I think this trailer looks or the images look pretty good. So I don't know. Anyone else? I'm just saying.
What?
Oh yeah. The trailer. Well, there's only been a little glimpse of it so far. Hopefully the big trailer is going to be on Sunday.
Look, I don't approve of the supposed actions, but nothing's been proven. But then again,
the whole Ezra controversy. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the first image for this that they showed looks pretty cool. To be honest.
Yeah, no, I like the images that they showed in the poster that came out today. I don't know if I have it here.
What do you think? Mad Max, Jarbo, Justin,
of the image of the Flash from the Flash movie.
Yeah. What are we thinking right now?
I haven't seen it.
The Batman looks pretty cool. Like just the bat logo at the top of the thing. I mean, it looks a little bit weird. Like it's looming overhead. I know it's meant to be part of the cave, but it just looks a little bit kind of weird.
This is the only one I could find really quick. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we've heard a lot of non-positive. Yeah, you know, I think that looks decent, right?
Well, this is a meme. This is a meme.
Oh,
This
that's
is
a meme. Oh, you trolled me. Oh my gosh.
That's like a Batman at a scooter. One of my friends tweeted out.
It's like SpongeBob if he was Batman. Evil. Sorry.
It's just that he's old. He's old and
Evil. Justin proper knows what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. Evil. Yes, exactly, bro.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
I will never get over
I
that.
found
That's
it.
one of my
Here we go.
favorite things. Who's that?
That's Wonder Woman.
Oh my gosh, that's not Gal.
Yeah, it
I
is.
can
That's
see
Gal Gadot.
the thing being taken off when she
It's
turns
been a
to
few
the
years, Tim, since you've seen Gal. That's Gal.
No.
Yeah.
She really went through a lot of
My
HRT.
friend Liz, this cosplayer, that's not her. She does.
She
cosplay.
really went through a lot of HRT.
Oh,
It's
HGH,
she's done some really good stuff.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, man.
Well, we're gonna
Can
run.
you,
We're gonna run
hook
through this
me up?
because that's almost 5 o'clock for me. So I'm gonna rip through it. Yeah. So here we go. I'm Flash definitely. I don't know what else is gonna put. Maybe Indiana Jones. I don't know if they're gonna do that one.
Another one? I don't know.
Mass Vigilante says Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer 2. I'm interested to see what they're gonna play in the Flash. CJH, dear Lord. Okay. A man lives on the 100th floor of the apartment building. On rainy days, he rides the elevator all the way up. However, on sunny days, he goes halfway and takes the stairs the rest of the way. Why? On a
Why
rainy
not?
day? Yeah. On a rainy day, you just want to get home, right? I don't know. You only go halfway on the sunny days. You take your time on the sunny days. You appreciate it. I don't know, but it's in stairs. He's in an apartment building, so it doesn't matter.
Mass Vigilante has a good response. I like that.
Why? Because he's a short stack and he'll reach the elevator for the 50th floor. So rainy days he uses his umbrella handle.
Well, what?
That's a good.
Yeah. Why don't? Well, if you're short, you have to do that. Why wouldn't you just always have it in the car with you? Always take it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't understand.
This is too late in the night, or too early to be asking all these. This is the wrong time to be answering these questions.
Yeah. Also, can he jump?
You should just tell CJH, don't ask dumb questions.
Well, I asked them to put more questions in, but these type of questions at 4 a.m. is like, I'm like, what the? There are three important rooms in the house. The first one is filled with money. The second one is filled with important papers. The third one is filled with jewelry. One day, all these rooms burst into fire. Which room did the policeman put out the fire first in?
I feel like he's abusing his power.
Yeah, wait, question. How much does he pay you a month for a membership?
Oh my gosh, dude.
I like it when people leave lots of questions, but this is
there's a difference between questions and acting like the fucking troll and Monty Python.
Well, I would assume they'd go for the one with the money first. I don't know.
I like trolling people, but this is beyond troll.
Well, Justin, which room would the police put the fire out first in? If there's 3 rooms with one's with money, one's with important papers, one's with jewelry.
I don't know whatever's in the front door.
The first one.
The back door.
The first room. I don't know. There's only 3 rooms.
Well, which one would you try to save anyway? I would go with the. I guess it depends on how important the papers are.
I
You're gonna need that money when the house burns down.
Rich person's house.
Rich person. Okay.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
So boring.
I don't care. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Would never ask a question, but gets answered all the time.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I don't.
CGH broke the mailbag. CGH never asks a question, but answers all the time.
Yeah, what's CH? Why is he the only one answering the back, like the mailbag?
No, he just did a lot. He did a lot.
If CJH was here, he would have been hounding Max for the last like 2 hours, like mailbag, 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 mailbag.
Well, phone gets answered all the time. It doesn't ask a question, right? I don't know. That's my guess.
No, I think this is one of those times where he's abusing his privileges.
Okay.
Yeah. There's rapid fire, bro.
Yeah, rapid fire riddles.
The attorney is my brother, testified the account. But the attorney testified he did not have a brother. Who is lying?
The attorney. The attorneys always lie.
I mean, to be fair, their job is to represent their client.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Plot thickens buttocks.
Well, Mass Vigilante's
woman again. Oh, we used the same one. Oh,
I believe neither one is lying because the accountant's a woman.
We gotta give him a
sister, I think.
Yeah.
All right, cancel
Max.
CJH.
Cancel CJH. Holy shit! I can't finish this. I can't finish this.
Oh, can we do the bottom one? Can we do the bottom one
tomorrow? Holy shit!
I feel bad. You can get this dude on. Get him on.
I love CJH. I'm gonna CJH. You're asking for I'm going to get you on here, and you're going to answer these questions. I'm going to track you down for tomorrow. Samir Ababsa, what is the worst film you've ever seen? I think Catwoman.
Yes, I agree. Halle Berry is sexy, though. Very nice. How much?
Yeah, but it made her unsexy how bad it was. And that's like an
amazing
feat.
I will say this, though. She was a good sport because she did go to the Razzies. She's a beautiful human being because she actually was like, hey, yo, I'll come to the Razzies. So
yeah, but it also makes you question her, like, why would she's like, okay, let's do this when she walked up?
Yeah, the script.
Like
I get it. I get it. The script. So
yeah, so that's mine. Mine is Cat. What's yours, Matt?
Oh, the worst film I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Besides a Netflix film.
And I've seen some bad Netflix movies, but for me, some movies they just get under your skin and they don't go away. And even though it's been 5 years, God, I still hate The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah. I will say this.
Really?
I don't want to like piss people off, but I want to say it's as far as Star Wars, it's the most beautifully shot. As far as substance,
I completely agree with you.
It's crap. Like first substance, it's crap, and I don't have to look like a character. When I was in my act, like, I'll table it for backstage, and we'll have this whole conversation. Okay.
Oh man, I'm about to go to sleep soon.
Well, Dr. Doc, I'll read Dr. Stocks because you've been
proper. Fuck off. Just kidding.
Whoa, yeah.
No, Proper is my friend, and you're all my friends, but. Proper, whatever, bro. Whatever. All right.
I agree.
I'd love to hear it though, if you'd like.
Well,
I'll tell the story backstage, bro.
Oh wow! Wait for the backstage. He's gonna give it to you in the backstage. All right.
Oh, that's fine. I respect that, but like, if I end up falling asleep before backstage somewhere else,
that's your problem, not mine.
What?
So with the Grace Batman tweet being out,
I'm joking, dude.
Oh, I know you had me going. I'm like, oh my god.
Whatever,
it's
Justin.
Like, no, we're doing it backstage here tonight. It's all or nothing.
Whatever, Justin. I'm sorry,
I don't know.
guys.
I don't even know what's going on.
I feel like
I don't know. I gotta wind it down though in a couple minutes because it's.
Yeah, me too. Me too. This is the last question. Dr. Doc. So with the Grace,
I wanted to answer the other one.
Justin, can I please answer? Can I please ask the guy? Please,
whatever, Max.
Holy
damn it,
shit.
Justin! Let Max do his thing.
Max
bro.
tries to get through a mailbag for 3.5 hours. Holy shit! Okay, so with Grace,
sorry, Max.
Batman tweet being out in the open, it begs the question: which Batman is she talking about? I think it's Bale. But I'd be open to see Clooney Batman with the good material. Me and Matt talked about this earlier in the stream. I think it is Clooney. I think because of the way James Gunn does things, he likes to subvert your expectations and take quirky takes and make them very popular. And I think that would be the one Batman that would get the biggest response. Wow, like George Clooney's actually really good as Batman. I think
Yeah,
he might...
because he was good as Batman, but he wasn't good. Like he wasn't good Bruce Wayne. That's the thing that we're arguing about. The thing in those films, they had like the scope and the way they looked was good, but like the story was not good. Like Tim Burton is good at like painting this universe. Like John Schnepp, right? I'm gonna bring this up. This is my catalyst here. I think John Schnepp had a really good idea. I don't think the film would have been amazing, but I think he had something going there. I don't know if Matt Jarbo remembers who he was.
Oh, Schnepp? Yeah, I remember Schnepp, man.
Yeah.
I met him once. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. So you see what I'm kind of getting on here? Like, I don't think I want DC EU to be the best. I do. But they're just not doing the best. They're not. Like The Dark Knight set the stage and Christopher Nolan left. And because he wanted to do other prestigious things. So now we're moving on post Christopher Nolan. And I think the problem here is that just because Christopher Nolan left, it doesn't mean you can't make a good film. There's a lot of creative talent out there. We have a lot of film stuff. I think DC and the comics are better than MCU. And I feel like a lot of people know that. And we need to have confidence in the product. And we don't need to make everything dark and gritty. Yes.
Oh,
I think
now you've crossed the line, Tim. I want more dark and gritty.
No, okay. I want dark and gritty, bro, but I want like a Pacific tone. I want a tone like Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer enhances everything. But what I'm saying is, like with James Gunn, I feel like he's going to take this from a I can't pronounce anything. Like he's going to take it from a scope that's not looked at before. And I hope he's going to take care of this, like, because this is what it's going to happen.
Well, he's very
the authority is going to integrate with Superman Legacy. Authority is going to integrate with Superman Legacy because it's called Superman Legacy because it's already established Superman, and these are essentially the characters they've told the story before, and these characters are going to come at Superman saying, "Hey, I don't agree the way you're treating us." Right? Okay. So I'm going to keep it minute. I felt like I went along a little bit too long with the way I think it. My bad,
cool.
Man.
No, it's cool, but I'm going to end it in like a minute because I got to cut it off at 5 a.m. for me.
Sorry, man.
That's
okay, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
No, but I think there's more to the story. I think James Gunn actually has a plan, and
yeah,
that's it.
I think he has a plan too. I hope we get to see it before Zaslav sells it. That's all. Go check out Tim Possible, the Supreme Leader. Go check out Matt Jarbo, and go check out This Week in Bullshit. Good night.
Yes.
Good morning. Whatever. See you later. Have a
good afternoon, good evening, and good night.